Good evening, everybody. This is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. I'm CmdrAleon on a Saturday night. Glad everybody with us, and we're here live and direct all over the world. And this is Encounters. So welcome to the show. I'm CmdrAleon, your host of WESU-FM's Cosmic Eye Astro Command Radio, every Sunday morning, 11:30 to 1 on the East Coast. Also here on TikTok with our show, Encounters, the number one spiritual UFO talk show. We use the word spiritual UFO and not just UFO, because we don't just talk about a spaceship or a flying saucer. We talk about the deep part of it, which is the encounters with space people. Yeah, that's what we do. We get into interviews with people that have had encounters with space beings, non-terrestrial beings on this show. Yeah, anyone can talk about UFOs and say, did you see that sighting up there? That would get kind of boring after a while. We talk about not only the spaceships that are coming to Earth, but the encounters people are having with the beings inside those spaceships. So welcome to the show. Chesno, good to see you, Vincent. Chesno, good to have you with us. Everybody out here, it's a Saturday night, and it's going to be a good one. Not only that, we've got a gallon of apple cider. We went doing some day tripping today and went to a really good apple cider orchard place. You can see the apple cider a little bit here, not too much. So this is another apple cider adventure. I had an encounter with a Plieadian. He talks to me through mental telepathy. Interesting. I am very interested in that. So Sofa King Suite 7, if you'd like, once we get things rolling here, I'd like you to come on and talk about telepathy, because that's how I communicate with Kedarmanka. It's directly through telepathy. I've been doing it for over 20 years. So I'm always interested when people talk about telepathy and they're having contact mind-to-mind communications. I am very interested to hear that. And that's the way it is. That's how they communicate, through telepathy. They can speak, if we were in a room together, they can speak verbally, but they are basically telepathic beings, the Plieadians and many of the other star beings. Yeah, so I'd like to hear that story for sure. And Sonic says, laugh, day tripping. Yeah, we went out to, we're in New England, so it's cider season, it's apple picking season, and we went out and we got some gallon of good apple cider. Thank you for sending the heart. Thank you so much, random business person. Thank you. Please subscribe. We have now 36 to 100 subscribers. The funds on that are going towards our night vision equipment for the Astro Command contact group here. We have a C5 group that's very active here in this part of the country. We have about 15, 20 people in our group. Many of them are part of what we call the ground crew of the Astro Command, are connected. So we're very active, not just on doing our talk show and our radio show, but our main goal is to make physical contact. And we will do it. And we are now starting to get better weather as we're getting into the fall season. It seems like the rain pattern is breaking a little bit. So we're hoping to get out there and do a live here on TikTok when we do our CU5. And you'll be able to see it. It'll be recorded and then reposted on our YouTube channel. So we will actually get into some interviews in just a little bit here. If you're just coming into the show, take a seat in the studio. Wherever you are, your home is the studio. Get a nice couch or a seat to sit in and watch the show and participate in the show too, if you wish to. I am starting to think, Sonic is saying, I'm starting to think, I'm on vacation for a week. I can stay up and watch. Woo woo hoot. Happy Saturday, everyone. There you go. And of course, we have to send our love out to everybody on the planet here on Encounters, because that's what we do. And when we send you love, you know it's true. Let's see here what's going on here. We've got to make sure that I'm at 15% power, so I'm recharging while I'm broadcasting. It'll charge up pretty quickly, so we're making sure we don't move anything. And we might have to get a new cord just to be on the safe side. I think I'll pick one up tomorrow. But it's good to have everybody here on the show. And it's good to have everybody here. Part of what we do on the show is during parts of the show, we'll ask you to show your support for what we do. So if you want to do our Cash App, it's Venmo. go to my CmdrAleon 2022 main profile page. You'll see a link to the Venmo. Anytime between now and the end of the show, please do Venmo whatever you wish. That's up to you. You know, if it's $5, $10, or $20 and you think it's unconditional, there's no conditions when you support what we're doing here on TikTok, that would be great. Much appreciated. And also, if your main focus is doing TikTok coins, and that's really like what you like to do, anytime during the show, if you want to throw a TikTok gift, please do it. It shows your appreciation for what we do here. And we're not flipping coins here. We're not throwing cards up in the air and pulling a card out for you. We don't do that. All right. So welcome to Encounters, the #1 UFO spiritual talk show on social media. Before I came on here tonight, I've got about 4 new UFO videos that I haven't even posted. I posted them on my Facebook, on my Astro Command Facebook, and so forth. I'll be in the next, probably tomorrow, I'm going to try to get those videos up on YouTube, and I'm also going to get them here on TikTok. So there's about 4 really good videos. One was from the late part of September in 29 Palms, California. It was a really incredible armada of golden ships that were to the northwest of a very large marine base, military base. They weren't above the military base. The witness recorded them, and they were actually northwest from the military base, so they weren't at the military base, but they were hovering, and they were some of the best armada of lights of spaceships that I sensed in that video. And I also read videos, so when I go through a lot of UFO footage, and there's a lot of stuff I don't post. Like when I see these things that are like, you know, bright flames of light coming down over a city, a lot of those things are actually not paratroopers. They're divers that dive, and they have like some sort of projected thing with flames on it. And people think those are spaceships or UFOs, and they're not. So I never post any of that stuff because there's a lot of that going on too, and people get confused. Good thing I'm trained in, and I'm a good observer in CE5. And I'm good at CE5 on video footage. When people send me videos, I'll know if it's actually a non-terrestrial spaceship. I know that stuff like inside out. So, but I'm always, interested. And thank you, MC, for the ghost. Oh my God, my eyes are flaming up in green. That means something really interesting is going to happen tonight. You know, it always will be, right? Thank you. We appreciate the on blue Eddie Ray. Thank you. And also the green eyes, Killa. Thank you for the green eyes. You know, that's pretty amazing stuff. And so with the love that we have for everybody and the appreciation that you have for what I do here, I've been monitoring. The Astro Command has me monitoring. I actually got to go on one of these TikTokers that were all about the Middle East and what's going on. And one guy tried to talk over me. So I said, I just got on here. I haven't said anything yet, and you're talking over me. So in love and light, I finally got the person to say, let me at least begin and finish the sentence. And then if you want to respond. That's why we have wars, because everyone's talking over each other and no one's listening to anybody. And then eventually, you know what happened? Everybody got real quiet. They got really quiet. And then I said, I just wanted to promote that I'm not here to argue with anybody. I said I'm here to promote a worldwide meditation of light on November 12th on TikTok. They started listening, right? And the guy who was trying to talk over me, he got out of the chat because he couldn't talk over me. I guess my energy was too strong for him to do what he was doing. So it got really quiet. And that was my first successful attempt in one of these confrontational Palestine-Israel thingies where they started listening, you know. And the command wants me to go in and talk to these people, and that's going to be a little bit interesting, sometimes not too easy, because there's so many frictions going on, you know. But we've got to bring people together on this planet. That's essentially what we need to do on a cosmic light-filled level, that we have to do that. And there have been actually videotapes of people over there in that area videotaping. Who was it? Somebody told me that there was some spaceships or things over that area. When the missiles were being shot by Israel over to the Gaza, these ships got the missiles and destroyed them. I can't remember where I heard that. It was the other day. So it has nothing to do with what we're going to do on the 12th when we actually send some large Ashtar Command spaceships over to the Middle East in the Gaza Israeli airspace. You know, I'm pretty sure there are some galactic energies there that are trying to neutralize this thing. You know, I really feel that. Marinate, good to see you. Peace, love, and light. So I'm tuned into a lot of things. They got me tuned in. The command has me, Kadar Manka. I am tuned into so many things right now. I'm trying to observe what's going on over there. And I'm trying to also facilitate getting people to stop fighting each other verbally. You know, to start realizing that they all have to live together. Everybody does. We have to come to a place where there's no countries, right? If we have no countries, then we have no country to fight for. You know, it's funny how people want to fight for their country, but if you have no countries, what are you fighting? Nothing. No countries, nothing to fight for. Just a planet called Earth, with residents living here that have been here for millions and billions and millions of years, and things have changed over the decades and over the years, and we go from one thing to another thing, right? Basically. So encounters, I can't not talk about what's happening there because it's affecting every living human being. And we are going to be a part of history November 12th, regardless of the naysayers and people say, how are you going to do this? The people that say this is never going to do anything are not doing anything anyway. So what does it matter, right? And the people that say nothing's going to work, I'm not saying they're out there, but they probably are. If you don't do something, you'll never know if it can be accomplished. You see, that's why I'm on Earth, because I believe everything can be accomplished. There's no negativity. There's no, oh, you can't do it. I doubt it can be done. For those people out there, wherever you are, I feel sorry for you if you feel that way, because if you felt like you can do things to make the Earth a better place, you should be doing it. Don't doubt yourself. You still have to try. That's right. So, you know, I'm not a predictor of the future. I don't say that date what's going to happen with the spaceships. You know, I'm just saying that they're going to be there. What they do or don't do, I don't know. All I know is that I have the ability to send 3 or 4 spaceships over there from the Ashtar Command, and that's, for me, relatively new, since about less than a year ago that I was able to actually talk to Kadar Maka telepathically and say, can you send 3 or 4 spaceships over to the Gaza Israeli area, high in the atmosphere, not detected, and whatever you need to do to neutralize the weapons, neutralize them. The word neutralize is the word I'm hearing, so I'm going to share this with you. It's been, for the last few weeks, I've been getting this thing about the ships, and what they're going to do is supposedly neutralize any weapons shot, any big missiles shot into the sky landscape, either on either side. They're going to neutralize weapons. Now, some of those weapons might hit places. I don't know. You know, I'd like to see them all neutralized and not be able to operate their missile launching systems. I think that we have to do, I want people right now to think about this, even before we get to the 12th. We need to focus our energies on neutralizing weapons. Now, how does that work for any Earth-based person that says, how do we neutralize weapons with our consciousness? You just do. You know how powerful your consciousness is? You know, it's very powerful. So we have to be focused on neutralizing weapons, on a metaphysical understanding. And if we do that in a metaphysical terminology, we can actually present that to occur. If we get our energy together, we can do that. Now, on November 12th, not only are we going to be also, as people here, being participants, but we're also going to be focused on seeing what happens in that 24-hour period. Now, understand, November 12th at 10 a.m. Eastern is when we begin this broadcast. It's going to be an Ashtar Command event, an Ashtar Command broadcast. It's not going to be an Encounters event. I'm going to be fully enveloped in my energy with the Ashtar Command. I'm going to be amped up within the Ashtar Command levels. What you're going to see that day is a little bit different here. Now, what you're seeing here is usually pretty amped up. If you think this is amped up, wait till November 12th at 10 a.m. Eastern. Wait till that happens. You've seen nothing yet. I shoot out a little bit of energy through the screen here, but when I put the full energy out here, be prepared to sit in your chairs and get strapped in as if you were going on a trip somewhere. I guarantee you, it's going to be an incredible day. Also, at 5 o'clock on November 12th, James Down the Rabbit Hole podcast will be on. And also that same day on the 12th in the evening, we might do a third we're going to do a third broadcast anyway on Sunday night, or late night. So you've got three things going here. The third one is we'll see how our energy levels are. But at least 10 a.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. for the podcast with James, my co-host. This is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. We discuss with people their ET visitations with space people, a disclosure, and we also talk about UFO sightings you're having. So we pick people out. If you wish to come on and you have over 250 followers or over 1,000 followers, if you have enough to get a camera on, please make sure you're dressed. And we'd like to have you on camera so people can see your face. If you're indisposed and you can't do that, I can understand that. But if you're going to come on, be prepared to come on camera. Okay? That's always a better thing, especially when we record these shows and put them on YouTube. People want to see a face to the person talking. Now, if you have under 1,000, don't worry about it because you can still come on the show and you just can't do live video until you get near 1,000. So good to have everybody with us. Grand Rising, good to see you. Flower Power, welcome everybody in here. This is Encounters, the worldwide UFO spiritual talk show. I'm your host, CmdrAleon. My co-host James is doing the haunted house down in Florida for Halloween, so he's not on. He'll be on maybe later, but he's out there doing the Halloween thing at the haunted house for the kids and stuff and family members or whatever. So we're going to get into this a little bit more. If there's any questions you have for me, please share them. I like to hear from people all over the world. If you've got a story to tell, don't hold it in. Don't keep it into the closet of your inner self. Doesn't make any sense. If you had visitations with extraterrestrial beings, be it star beings or other beings from other planetary systems, share your story. If they visited you recently or in the past, and you're holding that in yourself forever, and since your adult life or during your adult life you've had something happen, this is a safe place to come on Encounters. Share your story. No one's going to laugh at you. No one's going to make fun of you. This is a place where people will be very much interested in hearing your story, and they might relate to it based on things that have happened to them. And because I'm a contactee doing a UFO show, I have an understanding of people that are contactees or abductees because I've had contact with space people back in the 60s, physically. And they were human like us. They were loving men, women, children, just like us. The only difference is their spiritual level of advancement was way past us. They live in a high frequency of love. So that is something that I experienced in my life. So that's why you would say, should I come on here and talk about it? Yeah, you should. You'll feel so much better if you talk about something like this than keeping it hidden to yourself. Or maybe you're afraid to say anything. Your family members might get laughing at you, or maybe your friends would laugh at you. Not anymore. 30 years later down the road, we're almost at the point of contact. Do you realize that? We're almost at the point of contact. That's pretty amazing, right? Think about it. Don't think too much. But we are. It's starting to spread about 2027. Now, I think the timeline is going to be sooner. But by 2027, I do feel very strongly as the correlation of contact occurs that it's going to be pretty quick. And billions of people on Earth are going to see what's happening. And it's not there's going to be people on here. Understand this. There'll be people on YouTube, on TikTok. They'll be very creative with their content, and they're going to have the belief system that we're being invaded. They're going to think that we're being invaded by some outside source around the universe that's coming here to gobble us up, and they're going to take us, and we're going to be imprisoned. If you hear any of that stuff, disregard it, block it out of your consciousness, because it's all lies. It's not true. What's coming is positive interaction. What's coming is Probably the Plieadians. That seems to be the consensus. The Pleiades star system, out in the reaches of that region where there are planets, believe it or not, there'll be what they call Plieadians, or they call themselves Plieadians. So they'll be the first initial contacts that are coming here, right? And that's what you need to focus on, the positive, not the negative, the positive. Because there are content creators on YouTube and everywhere else, from their agendas or their religious beliefs or whatever their intent is, it's to make people scared. The government is getting ready, the DOD or sectors of the DOD are getting ready, and they have to scramble around knowing what to do here. Because the Department of Energy, Department of Defense, and other departments in other countries that are big enough that have their own air forces and intelligence communities know that something's coming up. And why do you think there's so many people recording things? Now, granted, some people are recording things that are conventional and they think it's not. Some people are recording these parachute jumpers that have these flame suit thingies or whatever. Some people are taping drones. Some people are taping other things. But I can tell you right now, in truth, a majority of what's being seen out there around the world is extraterrestrial. Is actually extraterrestrial, is non-terrestrial, is star beings. You won't see a star being flying in the air, but you'll know that there's intelligences behind the spaceships. The DOD wants to call them UAPs. For many years it was UFOs, and again in the 40s and 50s it was flying saucers. Now, the definition of a flying saucer is that's a saucer-shaped object. Not everything looks like a flying saucer anymore. There are diamond-shaped spaceships, teardrop ships. There's a whole category. Some that look like donut-shaped spaceships. There are all different types. Not everything's going to be the way we think a spaceship should be. So we have to throw out all our concepts of reality about Earth-based perceptions of what a spaceship from another planet looks like. Because it's not going to look what you think it looks like. It'll look completely different. It will. So we're really amped up here. We're on a roll here. It's a Saturday night at 11 o'clock in the evening. Welcome to Encounters. And we will. Hiriko in Japan, welcome. UFO Mania, welcome. Hiriko. Hiriko, I don't know if you can speak English. Hiriko. I'm going to try to bring you on, Hiriko. If you'd like to come on, can you speak any English in Japan? I don't know if you can or have a translation thing or whatever. We'd like to get Hiriko on here from Japan. Namaste. Namaste, Hiriko. So we'll see if Hiriko, if he doesn't speak English, I think it would be kind of hard to ask questions. But he's over in Japan and he follows us here. If anyone understands Japanese and can translate, if that's the case, we would have that certainly a possibility. And Japan has had a lot of sightings. At some of the volcanoes in Japan, many sightings. Similar to what's going on in Mexico. A lot of stuff going on, And I don't know Japanese, so too bad TikTok doesn't have a translator. So I can translate what he's saying or she's saying. All I know is there's a sad face there. Long press the comment and click translate. Long press the comment. All right, let's do that. Oh, translate, yeah. I'm sorry, I can't speak English. No problem, Rico. I just pressed the translate button. So, Rico, have you seen UFOs over in Japan? Thank you so much for telling me that. I can translate the thing into English. Have you seen UFOs in Japan? Yeah, I know. I'm using the translator, Chesno. I didn't realize I can use the translator. Maybe he or she can translate what I'm saying in Japanese. Rico, if you don't understand what I'm saying, press your little button on the translator. Press my comment or whatever. No, I'm not even making a comment. What am I talking about? Let's see here. I'm going to press the translator thing here. We are in the process of exchanging with overseas people through trial and error. Okay, very good. So I translated what he's saying into English. All right. This is really good. Hey, Skip to Grace. Skip to Grace is really close. Well, she is in Connecticut, but not that close. Hey,
Hello.
Grace. How you doing?
Good. How are you? How's it
Grace is at
going?
968 followers, folks. We need to get another 35 people to follow right now. You know how I am about things. I like everybody to be on here live, so I want to get everybody up to 1,000. I'm one of those hosts here on TikTok that is not about me; it's about everybody. The more the merrier.
That would be fantastic.
I'm the one came with love and tacos.
Hi everyone. People are commenting. Hi everyone. Hope you're well tonight. I was just reading, watching a video about. I'm not sure if you saw this going around TikTok or social media, but it was a interview that was done for a Congress or some political some political arena in Canada,
Hmm.
and they were talking about a reveal regarding the U.S. and that they were discussing actual races, extraterrestrial races that live among us. And
Hmm.
they mentioned at least 12 different races.
Really? They live on Earth?
Yeah, they actually, some of them work within the US government.
But yeah, that would be some of the human ones that are from the other planetary systems. Yes, that's true.
They were saying that there were tall grays that are working right now with a specific gentleman, and at first the gentleman was very nervous and very frightened by their appearance and by the presence, and then after a while of becoming more trustworthy and trusting each other, which I thought was a really good point. It's just like when you meet someone for the first time and it takes time to kind of get to know people and
Yeah.
to, especially people who are foreign and live, or come from another place in the world. And it does take time to get comfortable around them. And I think the same for, another species,
Mm.
another planetary species. Could you imagine how
Yeah.
amazing and yet and exhilarating and different that would be? For
Yeah.
like, here you go, these are your coworkers, these are the tall
Right.
gray species you'll have to work with now, and you'll have to learn to work with them.
It's like Men in Black, a movie where they go into this building and there's all these different beings. Some of them are human, some of them are not looking human, and they're all kind of like working together.
Yeah, yes, I
I mean, that's
remember
an
that.
extreme Hollywood version of it, but
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It was I'll see if I can find the video and share it with you. It was really good. It was really compelling, and it was like a press conference. It actually reminded
hmm
me of like a congressional meeting or a press conference or some type of like uh, disclosure meeting that was you know, uh, actually pretty important, but did not go viral, which was
when was the
also.
meeting held? Was there a date on it, or a month, or a year? Was
I
it
didn't,
recently, or?
yeah, I want to say it was recent though, but I didn't see
Hmm.
dates. I'll definitely dig into that a little bit
Yeah, that's
further.
important to figure that out. So when they talked about these beings, Grace, like the ones you mentioned, several different races, what were the other races mentioned? Can you tell us a little bit more
It
about
was
that?
so interesting because the races that were mentioned, I've never heard of before.
Really?
And yeah, I've never heard of them before, and I thought, okay, this is really interesting. And
Hmm.
he pointed out at least four other races that I was not aware of or had any idea who the star system was. So
Right.
And you know, and I really should have took notes, but I'm going to find this interview again. So it's on my
Yeah.
page. I'll share it to my TikTok because I have it.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah, I have it. I liked it. I liked it. And so, you know, of course, when you like something and it saves to
And
to
was
your,
someone saying, Anchor saying, why was it in Canada? Is that where the U.S. people and the Canadian people met on this, or?
yeah, it was, yes, yes. I believe it was a board that was hearing testimony. And it wasn't like, you
Hmm.
know, where we had our Congress, you know,
Oh,
call.
this is the Canadian board on UFOs?
I believe so. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah,
So
if you can give that information, specific dates, that would help a lot of people watching this too.
yeah, and I just was watching it a little while ago, like maybe, phew, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes ago. And I was
Hmm.
just like, what? You know?
Yeah, really.
And then I saw James on the live doing, you know, down the rabbit hole, doing his haunted house live.
Oh, yeah, he's
And
doing
got
Hard Town Live. Yeah.
distracted. And I thought, okay, you know, and I know they're doing
You
that
know,
for a good
James
cause.
sent me a photo from where he was. It was kind of dark, and I actually messaged him back. He didn't
Hmm.
see this. He would have not known this. There was a being behind him, like a male face
Oh,
behind him. I had to take a double take on it, and I swear I saw a face behind him, like a being with a body behind him in the darkness. It was like two eyes, and it had a nose and a mouth, and it had a very kind of a light-headed area.
oh,
And
wow.
I told him, I messaged him back, said, the photo you just sent me has a being behind you. I saw it like night and day. It was right there. You know,
Well,
I don't think he expected that.
oh no. And when he sees it later on, he's gonna go, what?
Yeah, but I don't even think it was a ghost. I think it was an extraterrestrial behind him.
Wow. And he'll go,
Yeah, I thought,
whoa. He'll in a
oh yeah, you
deeper
know me. I read
voice.
energy. I read photos. I was looking at the photo. I had to really examine it because my background's. I studied media and I did a cable show called Intergalactic TV Network many moons ago. So I looked very carefully and I say, wait a minute. So looking at James's photo that he sent me, I see this being behind him. And if he looks at the photo, if he has a copy of it and looks at himself, there's a being behind him. I mean, you can't make
Wow.
this stuff up. It's right there.
Wow. So tonight we did a circle gathering with some friends of mine in the woods. We had a
Yeah.
bonfire and we kind of honored the eclipse, the full moon eclipse, partial
Mm.
eclipse tonight. And I'm not sure if anybody knows in the comments what the body, celestial body is that's next to the moon that right now that's kind of planted right
Yeah.
next to the moon. Was that Jupiter?
I think
Bec-
that's either Jupiter or Venus. Now,
It,
I don't remember which side of it is. I know that there's one planet there that's really bright. It's either Venus, it could be Jupiter, it could be Mars.
it
Mars
was
shows up.
huge. It was huge. We thought
Yeah.
it was a craft. We thought it was a craft watching us because my girlfriend and I that were there were both CE5 people.
Yeah.
And I want to try to get her on here. Actually, I've asked her. She's been in the feed, the room, a couple
Yeah.
times. Her name is Barbara, and she has a great encounter story that took place in Rhode Island in Weekapaug.
Wow.
Yeah, and she said her and her son witnessed a ship come down on the water and open up and literally walk out of the craft, and they were red, and the sun.
They were red looking
They
beings.
were red beings and they came off the craft and they walked down their ramp onto the water. And then, and her and her son were watching. And her son was young at the time. And he was like, Mommy, why is he walking on water? And she was telling me
Wow.
about this. And I thought, you've got to come on the show and you've got to tell us, you got to share this with us on the show
Yeah,
because
now Oh, I got to ask you a question. You got me going nuts here. Lacey Bird, welcome to the show.
Yeah,
I got to
hello.
ask Grace. Hey, how you doing? I got to ask Grace a question
Man,
about
it's
these
good.
red beans.
Yeah, it's good to be talking to you.
It's
Hey.
good to talk to
Yeah,
you. 'Cause- Hey,
can you hear
listen
me?
to Grace's story here. I can hear you. Well, let me ask Grace a
Okay.
question. This is Encounters. This is interesting. So, this ship came down to the water. Where was this in Connecticut?
So this was in Rhode Island,
Rhode Island.
Connecticut, near, I'm sorry, yeah, I'm sorry, not Connecticut, not Weekapaug, Rhode Island.
Rinkapak. I think I know what that is.
Yeah,
We're on,
it's
both
it's
Grace and I are in
not
Connecticut,
far
so we
from
know Rhode
Watch
Island.
Hill. It's not far from Watch Hill.
Oh, Watch Hill, I know what that is too, right on the Atlantic.
Yeah, so it's near the Mishkwamaka Beach, and if you head a
Yeah,
little bit more north, probably about I'd say mile north, and you'll
yeah,
come to Weekapaug Beach. They have a huge overlook over the ocean. So now you're
yeah,
talking, you're already leaving the sound, and you're going, and you're now when you're in Rhode Island, you see the ocean and
yeah. That's
the
crazy.
it's got an incredible overlook there, and that's where the craft came down. It sort of
Now-
reminds it sort of is reminiscent of your screensaver that's behind you right
Oh,
now. I think that's how she described it to me. It was as if there was this huge beam of light, and then there was
wow.
like a red being that walked down this like kind of
Oh,
like
I gotta ask
plank.
you. I gotta
Yeah,
ask you about this. We got to get her on to tell the story. The
yeah.
red being. Did she describe what the red being come out of the spaceship looked like?
She
Besides
said,
red?
yeah, she said it was like a glowing red, kind of smaller
Wow.
being,
Hmm.
smaller with, just, she's not a very large, not super large head, but kind of a
Yeah.
small
And
being.
how far was the ship down near the water compared to where they were standing looking at it? Was it really close? Was it
I,
all the way out on the water?
no, it wasn't really far. She said it was like just right before their eyes. They were right in the car, and you
Really?
could park, and like when you park, you can look over the vastness of the ocean. So it's absolutely gorgeous down there. It's just like
And
this
was that at night or
overlook.
during the day?
It was an evening.
Now, why didn't they go out closer and say, "Hey, here we're here"?
Well, because you can't go, because they have a rock wall, like retaining wall,
Oh, really?
and then down underneath it is if you would imagine a cliff.
Oh,
And
cliff?
the
Yeah.
cliff is extremely rocky, and some
Hmm.
people, there are areas where you can climb down and go to the beach and kind of walk around, but it's extremely, Rhode Island is extremely rocky.
Yeah. Too bad they didn't have like a flashlight when the being came out of the ship. I wonder what would have
Yeah.
happened if they had blinked a flashlight to it.
Well, I
I'm
think
pretty
that
sure they would.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
that she has had uh encounters before in Mystic.
really.
Yeah, because she's
Yeah,
from
we have to get
Mystic.
her on here, man. We
Yeah,
have to
she
have her on here. I'd like to hear her. Does she have enough to get on here live?
yeah, oh yeah, and I believe so. And she came on one night and wanted to get on, and she was saying on the live feed that she had had an encounter in Mystic, and I thought, oh my God, but it was such a busy room that
Yeah,
I think we missed her comment. But I told her you got to come back. And so tonight
yeah,
at the fire, at the fire ceremony, and we do this a lot down here in this area because we have a
yeah.
lot of open space. It's gorgeous.
Hmm.
Tonight was absolutely amazing,
Do you
and
think she's still awake? If you message her, do you think she's still awake?
she might be. I'll invite her right now
Let's
to the
invite her right
live.
now. And in the meantime, we have Lacey Big Fish,
Yeah,
this fishing rod, and you've had 4 sightings, and he's our guest. Welcome back.
thank you. Yeah, last week me and my neighbor we was outside 12:30 at night, and we was looking up in the sky, and we saw the first craft going real slow. And he thought it was a satellite dish. I told him, I said, that's not no satellite dish. Well, a few minutes later, another one come by, and it made a left turn. And he said, oh, that ain't no satellite dish. And a few minutes later on, another one come by. It was flying real quick.
Hmm.
Then the fourth one was going real slow. You see the reflection of the moon reflecting off of it. It was
Yeah.
metallic, like an egg shape. So
Egg shape.
it got away with him. He said, "Well, I'm going in the house." So, but I knew what it was. I had experience when I was about 12, 13 years old with them, up
Hmm.
close in their craft. Yes.
Wow.
So I am
And
aware of.
how close were these objects to where you were looking at?
Well, it, this right here, it's pretty good ways up. But you can see the
Yeah.
reflection when, clear sky with the moon and so forth. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could tell what it was. And just the
Wow.
way going through the sky so swiftly through the sky. It was perfect.
Wow.
Yes.
How long did the forecraft? How long did they stay in your visual, sight?
Maybe about 3 minutes.
Only 3 minutes. So they were
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. They were going pretty fast, though. Would you say? Based on 3 minutes.
But about the first one and the second one's going real fast. But the third
Yeah.
and the fourth, they was moving slow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're probably watching you.
Well, I told him that they know what we're saying, you
Yeah.
know, telepathic and all that right there. But my
Yeah,
first
they
experience
do.
was when I was 12 years old.
Hmm.
Well, I saw them in their craft. Saw it when it took off, and I've been amazed ever since.
Now you say you saw them in the craft. That's very interesting to state. I
Mm-hmm.
listen to every single word a person says here. So when
Mm-hmm.
you say you saw them in the craft, how old were you and what did they look like?
The ones I saw, there was three of them like 3 to 4 foot tall. The other three were about like 7 to 8 foot tall. And
Really?
they, hmm and they were shiny. They were shiny black like glass.
Yeah.
This real shiny, skinny arms, their eyes and so forth. Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew when I was a kid that their lips wasn't moving, but I knew they was talking to one another.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then
So,
then it went in the craft. And I watched the craft. It didn't make no noise. When it took off, it's like lightning went up. That's how
yeah.
quickly it left.
Yeah.
hmm So I've been
Wow.
studying ever since. Yes.
So yeah, you've had a long period of experiences.
Yes, I have.
Do you think that have you had any visual? I mentioned the seven. What did the 7 feet tall beings look like versus the shorter ones?
They look the same structure.
Yeah.
hmm
So were
And
they like the Zeta type beings with the bigger heads, or were they like us?
uh, I guess you would call them grays. I study,
Yeah, well,
it's
that's what
talking
the
about the
Zetas are. Yeah, the
right,
Zetas. That's what the people use the word gray, but that you're talking about different types of Zeta beings. So evidently, there are Zetas that are 7 feet tall and others that are not. So that they
right.
probably are from two different planetary systems.
hmm
Yeah.
And I was in shock. I was amazed. Yes. But like I said, I've been
Wow.
studying ever since. I still like to know. They didn't have to look at me, but why did they do that? That part I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, from
hmm
a human perspective, Lacey, you might not, and that's okay not to understand. We're not always going to understand everything that happens to us from that
hmm
perspective. But for sure, like right now, this year, as we're going into 2024, have you had any other experiences happening that you're like visitations in your home, things like that? Because there's got to be other things going on that you don't remember, maybe.
Well, I remember it's about 5 years ago. I had a loved one pass away, and I knew it was dead because when I was outside, I heard his voice. He said, "I'm
Yeah.
okay." So I had that happen before several times.
Wow.
hmm
So obviously they're keeping in touch with you, right? I mean, it sounds
Right,
like telepathically, you're able to telepathically communicate with them, which is pretty amazing. That's what I
right.
teach people here. If we open our consciousness up, we can communicate with the star people, the space people. Like when you talked about the four craft or whatever that were, and your friend was doing his own thing,
hmm
they can read your mind.
Right.
If you ask them to come closer quietly, they can hear every single word you say in consciousness and they can come closer. Absolutely.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I probably will experience more, and I know I will. Hmm.
Well,
So
do you have, Lacey, the C5 app, the Dr. Stephen Greer app, on your phone?
no, I don't.
You don't.
Hmm.
Yeah. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to download. It's like $10 and that's it.
Hmm.
And when you
Okay.
download it, you can actually, it'll give you protocol how to make proper contact with the star people. And you'll be able to do that. And trying to translate Japanese into English here. Wait a minute.
That huge
It's not
message.
translating.
I know I
What?
couldn't translate that huge message from Hiroko.
It's not translating.
It's
Okay.
a
We're
big
trying to,
long
friend,
message.
it's my friend in Japan can't speak English, and we're trying to translate. There's a translate button here, but it's not letting me translate a long message, so I can't translate it. I'm going to try again. No, it's not doing it. Anyway, we'll work that. But yeah, I want you to download the app, and it'll
Okay.
give you the introduction to protocol. If you go to the networking section of the app, it'll give you things where you can chat with people you don't know, and they're all interested in C5. So what it does, it goes to the area code of where you are in the zip code, and just send a message out there. Is anyone interested in getting together and creating a C5 group? And you will eventually, meet people. Also, right on my show, I encourage it. So where you are in your state, if you put out, I'm over here, there are people that want to do this, get together with Lacey. You all get together, message each other, get to know each other.
Okay.
The more C5 groups we have all over the world, the more I can connect people here. I'm all about connection. And if we have enough C5 groups all over the world starting up, we are disclosure. We're making contact with the space people. So I want to see more of that. I'm encouraging people to not sit around on their butts, so to speak, and wait for something to happen. Make it happen. There's
Okay.
nothing to wait for.
Right. Right.
We're the ones that are going to make it happen. We'll be, it's just things that the governments are not telling us. And again, speaking of which, soon, maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm hoping we're going to have Shai back on here who has tons of information for us. She's been very, very busy overseas, and we'll have more information coming from Shai on both the cosmic and some non-cosmic top secret information. So keep your ears and eyes open, and we'll be able to provide you some more stuff. But she has
Okay.
been very busy, and she's here. And Lacey, I'm glad you came on here to share that story. Every story is important. Every story a person tells me here, with everybody on here watching the show, is important because it's an experience. And someone might relate to it and say, "Oh, Lacey had that experience. I think I had that happen to me last week." I've seen so many comments about other people's experiences. Maybe I've had that experience. So, yeah, we appreciate it a lot.
And Commander, I feel like also, I feel like soon it's going to all be revealed. The way
That's
things are
right.
going on this earth, things out of control.
Yeah, it is. Things are
Hmm.
out of control. But you know
And
what? And you're right. And you've been watching my show for a long time. You know that I've talked about 2027 and
right,
about the contact with the Plaidians, right?
right,
So you go with your instincts because everyone's getting these feelings now about contact happening soon. Every one of you feel that way. You're absolutely right on target in what you're feeling. Don't go by what your mind says. Go by what you're feeling. The
right,
feeling is what's true. What your mind tells you, disregard it. Go by your feelings on this.
right.
Grace will even tell you that. Grace, who's with me here, she'll tell you that.
Okay, look, I got to go because I'm at work. And
Oh,
I'll
your
get back
work.
with you again. Yeah. I'll get back with,
Well,
I'm
if
on
you get
break right now. I
all right, well,
work
if you
different
get
hours.
beamed up on a ship, if you get beamed up on a ship after work, at least come back and tell us what happened.
I'll sure do it. And I want to come
All
back.
right.
I got something else to show you. Okay?
I,
All
I
right, then.
believe
Nice.
you, and you're welcome anytime. All right. Thank you.
All right.
All right,
Thank you.
that's
Good
Lacey,
night.
a great
Good
guest
night.
on our show. He's our first guest. And Grace, is your friend on?
I didn't see her come in.
Oh, okay. Because you mentioned her name in the chat here. I was wondering, like, oh, I should find her.
Oh, wait a minute, maybe. Her name is Barbara.
Barbara. Okay.
I
Well, we'll have
actually,
to.
yeah, I actually invited her, but I don't know if she's on. She
Yeah,
has
she
a,
might be doing other stuff,
I
but
know
she
she
might
was,
come on and see her
yeah, she was
TikTok.
pretty, but she hosted the event tonight, so it was, you know, we do the fire, we did the fire, and then we drum and we do celebrate. It's really really beautiful. Yeah, I think
Mm.
it is Jupiter that's close to the moon.
Yeah, I
I
think it's Jupiter.
usually can identify the planets, but it was so butt up against the moon that I thought
Yeah.
we thought it was a craft, you know, because when we get
Do
together.
you have the
Mhm.
Do you download the planetary star map chart that you can just face into the sky? It tells you what's there.
Yeah, I have that on my phone. I actually
Oh,
have
okay.
that
Yeah.
app. Yeah, and I use it a lot. And you know, you can
Yeah.
download that app and point it up at the ceiling in your in your house, and it'll tell you what's up in the sky. So you don't need to be
Oh, what's above your
outside.
ceiling too?
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
It
It's so
might pick up
cool.
a ET floating.
Absolutely. And you can look down too, down, and it'll tell you what's on the other side of the
Yeah.
planet. So it's super
Interesting.
cool.
Interesting.
So I wanted to ask you what you thought about this concept that's going around lately about the dome-shaped Earth.
Oh,
I've
with
been
the dome-shaped Earth?
I've been hearing it quite a
Man.
bit from a lot of different people. And what's so interesting is Mr. B came on a video. I saw him do a video about a dream he had just recently, and he's on our show a lot,
Yeah, of
or he
course.
comes on your show a lot. And
Yeah.
he said that he had a dream about a beanie cap, right? Like, so say you're wearing a beanie cap that you wear
Yeah.
in the wintertime, and it comes to your eyes. It kind of comes like just before the top of your eyes, and then all the rest of whatever else was there underneath it was all blue. And I
Yeah.
found that that was really interesting that he would
Mm.
have that kind of dream
Yeah, that's
because
definitely
I,
interesting.
right? But what do you think about that? What's your thought on
Well,
the
I'm very, because I'm from Mars, and
mhm.
there are people on Earth that think there's a dome around the planet. I'm going to break that matrix right off the bat because I've seen that around. That's been going on for last couple since I've been on TikTok. I've heard more about that than any other social medium. I'm going
Mhm.
to say this, and there are people going to say, "Well, but it has to be a dome. It has to be a dome." No, that's a belief system on Earth that your planet Earth is surrounded by a glass dome that we can't get through and we can't go anywhere. Well, of course we can't, well, that actually we can, because actually what we did is in the Midwest, we sent out a rocket with an Air Force pilot to go to Jupiter and come back to Earth in 25 minutes. There's
Mm.
no dome. This
Yeah.
is what I'm trying. I don't know where people get these things about the dome here. There's a big brick wall around the Earth. Come on, folks, wake up.
Mhm.
Wherever these things have started on the internet and social media, it's based on somebody's concept of reality, not based on
Yeah.
cosmic truth. So the truth is, and I know the people that believe in the glass dome around the earth are going to be totally breaking down in nervousness because I'm saying this. There is no dome on any planet, around any planet. It's only on Earth that we created this illusion of a dome on the planet where we cannot go past the dome. If you believe that, I will sell you the Empire State Building for a penny right now. You can have the whole building, right?
Mm.
Do you want the building for a penny? Do you believe I can sell it to you for a penny? Do you?
Yeah. My
Come
dad
on, folks.
always my
The
dad always used
commander,
to say, "I'll sell you the Brooklyn Bridge."
because I don't come from this planet and I'm fully awakened, I can understand things a lot differently than people that believe in this whole dome concept. There's a group of people, not a lot, but they're the ones they're spreading the whole thing about, you can't go out there. We can't get out of here. No, you can't go somewhere unless you know how to get there. It doesn't mean you can't go there. You have to have the ability to know what to do to get there. If you know what to do to get there, you can go anywhere you want. But if you believe that you can't go anywhere, then you are limited in your consciousness. Stop limiting you, whoever you are out there in the universe around our planet Earth, the billions and billions of humans, whichever ones are thinking this, stop. Break out of that mode. It's just not true. Diane says I'm going to sell it. Let's see.
Funny.
Yeah, so it's just that I've heard that. I'm glad you brought it up. For people that do think the Earth is completely sealed from any other place to go, The only thing with Earth that happened for many, many, many moons is that it was quarantined by the galactic levels. It was quarantined because it went down to a low vibrational pattern for a long time. And that's true. But there was no dome. It was quarantined. Now the planet's not quarantined. Now the planet's going into a high vibrational pattern where there's transformation happening. Humans are transforming their consciousness. Animals are transforming their consciousness. Marine life, dolphins, whales, they all have a consciousness that's transforming. Everything is transforming. Everything is going to a frequency. Mother Earth is going into a high vibrational state of consciousness. So nothing is separated. Although we separate everything on this planet, nothing is really separated. It's just an illusion. There's no separation. The only thing that's separated is if you separate it yourself. Nothing's separated. Only if you separate it. If you choose to separate yourself from somebody across the street and say, I'm not looking at that person, they're not there, and they really are there, you've made the conscious decision to separate yourself from that other person that you don't even know. But they are there. You just want to believe they're not there. Just like this whole dome concept.
I
That there's
absolutely
this
agree
invisible dome.
I agree with that, Commander. I feel like we can cut ourselves off from people energetically, just
Oh, yeah.
like we can cut ourselves off from communication or energy fields that even because we all know, and I'm sure everyone in the group knows, the chat knows that we all have a unified field around our bodies, right?
Yeah.
And that the Earth has a unified field as well.
Oh, yeah. And
And
Hiroko, I translated, I'm not meaning to interrupt you. I was able to translate his Japanese. Does anyone see the translation? If you look at the night sky, you can see a lot of flying. You can see well after sunset. Do you see that? Do you see the translation? Is it translated? Or is it still in Japanese for other people?
was that the really long message?
No, the shorter one.
Okay.
The short message.
I don't think it
Tell me if
comes
you can
up
see.
in the chat as translated, but I think for you it comes
Oh,
up.
then I'm translating what he's saying and he or she's saying in English.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll translate it. Hariko, it's still in Japanese. Well, then I'll have to read it to everybody in English. I'm able to translate it from here. So now I'm a Japanese translator. I can't speak Japanese, but here we are.
A Hollow Earth. Somebody said they have a first edition copy of the Hollow Earth. Oh, Diane Stadler. Stadler 733 says she has the first edition copy of the Hollow Earth.
And for those that don't understand the Hollow Earth on Encounters, the UFO talk show here, the Hollow Earth does exist. For people that believe our Earth is one solid rock, you've been taught the wrong thing in school. We've all been taught in every decade that we live in a solid rock with a core, and there are volcanoes and lava, and that's it. If you believe that, I will sell you a Rolls Royce for $5. You can have a Rolls Royce for $5. I'll sell you one of those. Yeah. Yep. So if you believe the Earth is one solid rock and there's nothing in the Earth but rock, time to wake up, folks. The Hollow Earth does exist. It is existing, and there is an inner civilization of very advanced spiritual beings in what we call the inner Earth. I've talked about it before briefly. The Agartha network, the subterranean cities. There's transportation structures within the inner Earth, traveling structures. Ships can come out of the oceans, out of volcanoes, out of Antarctica, back into the inner Earth. It happens all the time. It's been happening for millions of years, probably more than that. Our planet's billions of years old. So think about the inner Earth as being around for a very, very long time. All right? So that's always interesting. If someone brings up the inner Earth, I love that topic because it really, people think, well, when are they going to come? Well, they're already here in the planet. There are advanced civilizations within the Earth. And I know it's for some people hard to comprehend that idea that there are beings living here, but they are. Some of them, like you said earlier, are in the surface world. They came off ships. They can dress like us, get a suit on, go to work, and they're here to watch what we're doing, quietly observing what we're doing. So we have space people here that came right off the ships, and then we have people that are starseeds that also came here in birth to parents that were human. They were human, and then as they go older, they remember they came from somewhere else, so they call themselves starseeds. So there are different levels how they get there. Some come off the ships directly, purposely come off the ships in a remote area, are able to get the currency for the country they're in, speak the language, look like anyone else, and blend in. That's what they do. So we have people from off the ships that are actually here. Cassie V, great question. Wonders why they choose to wait until 27 to contact. It certainly feels like it's a galactic timing. On a divine scale, it's a galactic timing. The DOD's, what our friend Amshai stated it, that the DOD is also aware of contact coming in 2027. Why do you think the DOD is going crazy? Why do you think the Department of Defense, you don't know they're going crazy, but they are. I can tell you they are. They don't know what to do. They've been lying for 70 years, and now they don't know what to do because they can't say, we can't answer those questions in Congress. We can't answer your questions right now. We can't come forth and answer that question specifically. You're telling us we have to do this. We can't do this. Well, they're going to have to do something because when the space people come here to make contact, what are they going to do? They're going to be hiding under their underground places under the Washington, D.C., or some DOD place in Europe or somewhere in the Midwest. What are they going to do? Nothing. All their weapons will be neutralized if they try to do anything. When mass contact happens, Plieadians and other beings that might be the armada of craft with the beings on them, they will neutralize every weapon on this planet. They're not going to come in here and say, here we are, shoot at us. Even if they wanted to shoot missiles at the spaceships, I'm going to tell you right now, as clearly as fired up as I am, some cosmic truth here, brothers and sisters. They can't. Those missiles will be neutralized before they even get off the ground. All those billions of dollars they spent on weapons to destroy things will be useless. How's that for a story? Really? So I'm giving you some real
That's so
information
cool.
here, so make some notes.
Yeah, and I feel like I would love to have pick Shai's brain a little bit and get her opinion about what having species amongst us in the government and
Yeah.
actually just put that to bed, and just finding out if we can get a confirm on that. And I think that'd be
Yeah.
fabulous. And then I also was curious about Aben, who was in the other night.
Yeah, Avon was great.
He's got some great footage, but I really am wondering if Aben's footage is our craft that he's
Okay.
seeing. So that's what I was wondering about that. I'd love to confirm that. And then also, I don't know what kind of meditation Aben's doing, but if you guys are all watching his videos, if you notice while he is videoing himself meditating, there's edits in the video, but I just wanted to mention that just be very cautious when you are meditating and calling in energies to come into your field and into your space. That you don't want to just call anybody. And
Right.
I say this, I'm gonna sound like a broken record because I say this again and again, and unfortunately, this is the way it is. You want to just set some kind of protocol for yourself. Be sure that if you don't know how to do protocol, you don't know what that means. Just go to the CE5 app, use the meditation that guides you through the protocol, and then the meditation, and that's included with it. To make peaceful contact, and then also to understand the tones will come with it. But you want to invite higher level entity beings because we don't need to invite more of a mess.
Hmm.
We also need to be prepared spiritually. Like we need to take the steps to preparation in a sense, and we all go through like a process. Kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, high school, and then so on and so forth. So it's like spiritual development is important,
Mm.
and preparation for these kinds of experiences, because especially if you are feeling off or you're feeling not right mentally or strong mentally, it can be extremely dangerous. So I just wanted to mention that because I did observe some of Abin's videos, and
Yeah.
although compelling and they look exciting, I think what's important, and I think you talk about this too, Commander, is using discernment and using your,
Right.
you really questioning and wondering.
Yeah.
What exactly is happening? Like we do when we go out to the CE5s. We have our we know what's a satellite. We have apps that kind of follow the patterns of the aircraft. Airplanes.
Yeah.
We know what the sky positions are. We know whether we see satellites. We do really just kind of always say, hey, well, we want to just be sure that we are absolutely positive. Go to the science, go to the
Hmm.
science. We want to be
Hmm.
absolutely positive what we're looking at. Some phenomenon can't be explained, you know.
And speaking of phenomenon, Skip to Grace has 974 followers. Could we get another 21 people? We have 121 here. Skip to Grace. I'm going to do it like a mantra. Look for her. Skip to Grace, who I'm talking to. Go to her profile. Press the follow button. I want to get her up to 1,000. We can get her on live on video tonight if we do that. Can I count on everybody to do that right now? She's so close. I want to get another 21 people to follow her.
And
Everyone to
really, I
follow
would
her is
love
not following
that.
right now.
I would love that because
Yep.
I know that on the November 12th, when we do the group
Yeah.
meditation, I would love to do some sound bowls, live sound
Hmm.
bowls on that day, uh, for the group, for the room, and because I play crystal sound bowls, which helps elevate the vibration. I mean, it just all you have to listen to the tones. Each
Now,
tone
just let
has
people
a.
know that Grace has 1,084 following her. She doesn't have followers. She has 981. So, yeah, she has 1084 following that she's following. But you need to follow her. She only has 981 people following her. It's the following her, not the following. The followers. When you have someone followers that says followers, that they're following you. Following means you're following somebody else. So we need to get her up to 1,000. We're going to get really close tonight. She has 981 right now. Let's do it. Let's get her up to 1,000 real quick here. I'm one of those people that is proactive in my hosting of my show. I try to bring everybody up, So just follow her now. I want to get her. I'm going to get her on here live with the camera. I'm going to see where we are right now. She has 982, folks. Let's keep it going. 982. I feel like a
Do I have to
what's
comb
it?
my
I
hair?
feel like I feel like I'm in an auction, going once, going twice, then
I
983, 984.
know. I know. Who gets to have dinner with Skip to Grace, right?
That's right. Who has to have dinner with Skip to Grace?
Who gets to
So please
pick my
follow. Come on, we can
brain?
do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Unconditional love here for Skip to Grace.
Oh,
I want
that's
to
so
get her
funny.
screen going here. We're
That's so
983.
funny.
Now we have 117 people. Do the math. How many people do we need to get up to 1,000? Somebody
So
say the magic word. Number.
yeah, so N is asking who, and it's like me. It's Skip to Grace. I'm in the room on the live right now talking.
Yeah, the one who's talking is the one you press the picture of the person next to me. Everyone press her picture. You'll be able to follow her and go to her picture and press that, and you'll be able to follow her right now. That's how you follow her. So
I'm
press the
telling you,
picture.
I cannot believe people will do the craziest stuff on TikTok, and they've got like thousands of followers, and it's
Yeah.
agonizing sometimes because you make good content and you think to yourself, well, what exactly, what do I have to do to
Yeah.
like satisfy this app?
It's like they do crazy things. Like they jump up and down in a rubber ball and they gets them 2,000 people watching them. I don't get it,
Yeah, I don't either. I don't get it either. It's like this, I try to be silly, but I mean, I'm a pretty serious person. I'm serious
Huh?
about what I do.
Grace has 990 followers. We need to get 11 more people to get
Oh
her
my
over
God,
1,000.
that's
990 people are
wild.
following you. Everyone press the picture of the person talking on the right side of me. All right, press her photo and press the follow button. Everybody, right now, we have 116 people on here. We'll get back to talking about stuff in a minute. If you follow Susan Mary, thank you.
Oh, I love that
Thank
little
you.
doggy. So cute.
We're going to see where she is now. I'm going to count the numbers here. We're at 991, folks. We're so close.
Oh my God, it's
Come on.
unbelievable.
We're so close. All we need is another 10 or 11 people on here.
And
Follow the picture. The person on the right talking, when you see the little face, press the face, and then follow her. There's a little icon. Press her face, press the follow. Okay, so you just press the face. You'll come up, press the face, and the follow button will come. Say follow. You press follow. It has like a little red square, and it says follow. Press follow right now. Okay, we're going to see if we can get you up there. We're at 992. Oh
comb
my
my
gosh.
hair. Sharon goes, comb your hair.
We have 8 more people for Grace to go live.
I'm
Skip to
putting my
Grace is her
time
name.
travel hat on.
Skip to Grace is her name. We're going to get her face on here so we can actually have a real live discussion, not just an audio with Grace.
Like an
So,
actual person. Isn't that
yeah.
unbelievable?
Yep.
Right? I know. It's agonizing.
We're at
I was really,
993.
it was so exciting though the day I was able to come on and do the audio because
Yeah.
for a long time I was only able to type in the chat,
Yeah.
which also was frustrating.
So let's take a look at her and see where she is now. We got 115 people on here. I know you want to have a conversation about the ETs and UFOs, but I need you to do me a favor. She's at 994. We need 6 more people to make her go to 1,000.
That's
6 more.
crazy.
Come on, folks. I know there's 6 people that aren't following her right now at 116. So press the button, press her picture, the person that's on the screen here that you see. Press it, then press the little picture icon and press the little bar that says follow, and press the follow button, and you'll be following her. Okay? We're going to get her on here on the screen in a few minutes. 997, we need
That's
2 or 3 more
crazy.
people. 2 or 3 more people, and she's going to be able to automatically go live on the screen.
Somebody wrote
2
put
or 3
on
more people.
clothes.
The commander is dedicated to everything I say I'm going to do for somebody.
You guys, I
What I'm
love you
doing for her,
guys
I
so
would do for
much.
you as well. When you people get up to near 1,000 or you're at 500 or 600, you better believe it. I'm going to help you get up there. All right?
Felicia goes, put on clothes, put on clothes. That's so funny. You make me laugh.
She's
Thank
at
you so
999. I
much.
can't believe this. I need 1 or 2 more people to put her over the top. 1 or 2 more people, and you'll be able to see Skip to Grace visually as a live human being on Encounters. Let's see what
That's
happens
gonna
here. We're
be
that close. We're going to
unbelievable.
have a celebration here for Skip to Grace. She's in Connecticut. She's with our Ashtar Command Group.
And they'll let
1,002.
you
Thank you. Thank you.
woot, woot.
Okay, let me see what happens here. Skip to Grace. Sign off of there and come back on, and we'll see if it resets.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you,
Congratulations.
everyone.
I want you to come back on your app. I think it's going to reset itself. Okay, we're going to see if we get Skip to Grace on with her camera. Let's see what's happening here. All right, this should work. It's resetting itself, so I think we'll be able to do it. Let me see here. Well, actually, Skip to Grace. Let me see what's up. Yeah, you can go live now. So press your the camera icon.
Okay, let's see.
There's an icon next to the mic.
Okay, let me see what I can do here. Oh, got it.
Yeah.
All right, you're gonna laugh at my hat.
There she is. Congratulations.
Woot!
I am so excited for you, man. I am completely... folks, thank you so much. See, that's what this TV show is about. Other talk show hosts would not maybe take the time to do this. That's why I care about every single person on this planet. Congratulations. Now you know what grace looks like.
Thank you, everybody. That
I
is
am so excited
so
for you, you know.
cool. Thank you so much.
I care about the tribe out here, wherever you are, new people. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the gifting. And now
Woot,
we'll return
woot.
to normally scheduled programming. Just kidding. What's normal about this show?
That is
How do
that
you
is
feel, Grace?
so cool to be on the video finally. After I got my
Yep,
time travel hat on in preparation because I knew that we were like
yeah,
reaching another timeline. So I thought, well, it's time to
yeah.
have
James
put
is
the
going to
time.
be very excited to see you live on the screen. He says, "Is that
Definitely.
really Grace? Is that who
Oh
she
my
is?"
God. Yep. It's me. It's me. Yay.
So everyone now
Woot.
knows that I'm a man of my word. When I say I'm going to do something, I do it. That's the difference between talking and doing the walk. One can
How
talk and not do the walk. I do the walk and I do the talk.
it's like
There you
so
go.
crazy the anticipation, right? To finally like, just like be on.
Yeah.
Um yeah, thank you. So Sharon's like her icons, so it's so good. Thank you so much. Hey, it's great to see you guys. I wish I could see everybody. But I do go to everybody's pages, and I do look at your videos, and I do look at your messages, and I really appreciate, the
Yeah.
support and, all your videos and things you send me. It really means so much.
Mm,
And I just love that we're doing this together.
mm-hmm.
Hey, everyone's saying
And
hey, hey,
our,
hey,
our friend in
hey.
Japan, Grace, our friend
Woot.
in Japan, I translated what the person in Japan said. Where is it here? The blue. Oh, thank you for the little ghosty thing there. Our friend in Japan says, "Oh, thank you, Hiroko." Hiroko sends us roses. He says, "Nice lady" in English. Nice
Oh,
lady.
that's so sweet. Aw, yeah. Thank
I'm
you
so
so
glad I can
much.
translate Japanese now on here.
See, we learned a lot, didn't we? We learned we could translate the. See,
Yeah, if someone from Russia came in here and spoke Russian, I wonder. I
oh,
probably can translate Russian too. Yeah, I think it's an international translator.
oh wow, that's
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you for the
that's super
galaxy.
cool. Oh
Thank you
my
so much, brother.
God, that's so
We appreciate. We love
cool.
everybody out here. This tribe of viewers is increasing. When I look at the end of the week, I look at what the tallies are on my screen. After I sign off, it tells me what's been on here, like statistically. And by the end of the week, I could probably say I've had about 5,000 or 6,000 viewers, which is, I mean, that's pretty good, and that's on a steady rate. There's not, maybe variations, but I track it, and we have a pretty steady audience here most times, so it's pretty good. If we don't have 2,000 people, it doesn't matter. We have a real steady group of
Oh,
people coming here.
definitely. Definitely. I mean, everyone is so supportive and,
Yeah,
interested and wanting to learn, wanting to grow. Um, and yeah, and Isaiah just asked if we had any stories about Area 51. I mean, there's tons of stories about it. I just feel
oh
like
yeah.
somebody recently just said they were going to be visiting Area 51 or camping near
Or
Area
camping near it.
51.
They couldn't visit it. They'd be probably arrested if they got past the perimeters. But
I would
I
say
mean, I
be
can tell
very
you, I'm sure
cautious.
Grace can probably tell some stories she's read. In terms of Area 51, I've come to the conclusion that I don't really care about Area 51 anymore. And the reason why I don't care, because our dear friend, Shai, has better information than we can ever even want from Area 51. Like the fact that I'll never forget the story that we sent up a spaceship with an Air Force pilot going 25 miles round trip to near Jupiter and coming right back within 25 minutes. We've done this, folks. How many people know about this? I want to ask you a question. How many people know that we've been to out of the outer reaches to Jupiter, not landing on Jupiter, with a spaceship and come back to Earth within 25 minutes? How many people have ever heard that? Say yes or no.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes or no.
Yep. Saying no.
Okay,
Some
good.
people saying no. Some people
Janet
saying
C,
yes.
thank you for saying that. All the people that said no, I'm glad you said no, because I want you to know that we have advanced technology to take a spaceship with an Air Force pilot, and we went out into the reaches towards Jupiter. I think it was like 30, was it 38 times she said? Or 30? Somewhere in that perimeter. Over 30 different times we've had spaceships go towards with advanced technology that we've gotten reverse engineered technology to get us out there and back in 25 minutes. And this is top secret information I'm giving you. You're not going to find this on anybody's TikTok, no matter where you go.
Yeah, that's
I've got this
incredible.
information. Grace knows about it. James, my co-host, knows about it. And we have a direct contact into the DOD that's overseas right now. She's been a friend of ours since how many months? Probably several or 8 months now, right? Or
Oh
more?
yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Over a year, I think I've been kind of following the page, and we
Yeah.
started the C5 group and meeting a couple times. So it's got to
Yeah.
be got to be coming. I want to say I connected with you around winter when I moved back from
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
And I was just seeking out a group in Connecticut for the CE5 because I had started my own CE5 group
Yeah.
in
We met
Florida.
on TikTok. We actually met on TikTok.
Yeah, we met on
Chesno.
TikTok.
And we met Chesno on TikTok too. And
Yeah,
now
we
we've
met
become really
Chesno.
close friends, right? There
Yeah,
you go.
it's really it's just been such a good experience. It's so up. First of all, it's super uplifting. Thanks so much, guys, for congratulating me for coming on live. Thank you so much. It's nice to put a like a face to a voice, right? You know, because
Hmm.
you're listening
Yeah.
to the voice for so long, and then it's like, oh God, I want to see that who that
Yeah.
person looks like. So here I am in the flesh.
Grace has become our spiritual cosmic counselor. And she really, one of the things I found out about that by having you become a spiritual cosmic counselor on the show is that you really do help people that have gone through some tough things. And you have some you already know that. And without ego, you have great insight when you hear their stories too. I already know that.
Thank you. I have been really blessed with the ability to do this. For many years, I was a hairdresser. I lived in New York. I was a hairdresser in New York. I worked in New York City.
Hmm.
And I was in, when you work in that field, I don't know if there are any hairdressers in the group, but when you work in that field, there's a tendency to really you communicate with a lot of people, and you have to do it quick, efficiently,
Hmm.
and you have to move people in and out constantly, right? So how, like, imagine the millions and millions of people that live in New York City, and imagine a hair salon in New
Yeah.
York City. So you would have to, commune with someone on a personal level by touching their hair, and then, of course, communicating with them and connecting to their lives, because the hair is a deep connection to a person's, like, inner mechanics, I believe. And so it's like touching their auric field in a way. So what hair taught
Hmm.
me was how to connect to people in a way where I could tap into their field and know exactly believe it or not, that was my training. That was my
Hmm.
training. And I have a friend who agrees with me. She's also a hairdresser. We've been, licensed for years. And she
Hmm.
said, when it comes down to it, bottom line, hairdressers have an innate ability. And what happened to me very early on in my career, Commander, was I really took in people's energy very hard. I was completely open. I had no idea how to protect myself. And this is sort of how I got into doing the protection and teaching people about and becoming a mindset coach and teaching people about protection, not
Hmm.
only energetically, but, in life, and how you can walk on this planet and deal with others and not allow what they bring to the table to penetrate you and hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
So there are ways to deflect those things. Some people are better at it than others, but I became like really masterful at it. But it was no easy road. It definitely took time to gain that ability. So, fast forward, of
Mm-hmm.
course, went into studying fine art after I retired from my hair fashion career. Studied fine art, and I had learned how to paint icons in the classical tradition from a master teacher who literally slayed. Like, she was
Wow.
extremely famous, in the European or the Eastern Bloc, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
And but she was a tough cookie. So she basically beat me into submission, and I allowed that to happen because I wanted to kind of start out from the bottom and work
Mm-hmm.
myself back up. So I ended up learning how to paint classically in egg tempera, and I do gold leaf gilding on flat panel surfaces. So I do gold leafing on things, and I adorn things with gold leaf. It's super fun. But what happened was, with this process, what has happened to me is it allowed me to understand how to go in, because when you create, it's like a form of meditation. So
Mm-hmm.
when you create and you allow your body to do something mechanically, your mind has the freedom to travel. And so
Yeah.
you can travel into dimensional realms safely because you're physically connected and grounded to the earth. So then you can travel and experience the spiritual realm and learn from that.
Yeah.
And so I got into doing that, and it served me so well. But when you're on the planet for so many years, and I'm the kind of person who is always researching and trying to gain knowledge and learn.
Mm-hmm.
So I learn from everyone. I've also been blessed with the opportunity, with the ability to really listen to what people have to say and observe and learn from others. And that's how I
Mm-hmm.
ended up being able to do like, I can literally cut through the BS pretty quickly.
Yeah. You can. How did you get Grace from that point? When did you start getting interested in C5 and the whole thing of looking for the spaceships or what have you?
I had always had an interest in the space my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I was into space, anything that was out of the realm, in another dimensional realm,
Mm-hmm.
dimensions, you know, ESP, extrasensory perception, studying the healing, quantum physics, like things that are outside the realm of, the ordinary, is something I'd always been
Mm-hmm.
interested in. I had a sister who was a scientist, and then I have another sister who is, I have sisters, and my other sister is a hybrid technology professor. And
Hmm.
so, and I tended to be the artist in the family, but I started to sort of Dr. Stephen Greer came into my life well over 7 or 8 years ago, and I
Mm-hmm.
studied with Corey Good for a while, and we did online classes with Corey Good, and I was always interested. But when I started to listen to Dr. Greer's stuff, I was enamored in the precise exactness of his delivery. And it
Hmm.
actually resonated with me, and it made sense because I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to, and I have the gift of discernment, so I can tell whether or not somebody's a BS artist, or that they,
Yeah.
if they're like trying to dish you some fake news, as they say. So I liked the message that he delivered about our inviting peaceful contact. And that not only that, but he also uh, delivered knowledge on and data that is important to the proof of how, we're destroying the earth. I mean, let's face it, plain and simple, we don't need proof. We know we're destroying the earth. Humans are
Right.
just doing a horrible job. Dr. Greer describes us as a zero right now, as
Yeah,
far
he'd be
as
right about that.
advancement. And
Yeah.
so I also followed, and I'm not getting political. I'm just mentioning that Al Gore work that he's done on the Inconvenient Truth was something that came out, I think, over 20 years ago, which really
Yeah.
resonated with me because I at one point wanted to join Greenpeace. And I have
What?
a
Yeah.
really deep connection to the ocean and
Hmm.
the whales and dolphin and our
Hmm.
sea life because I feel the sea that they have the ability to connect to other dimensional energies as well. And
Oh, without
so
question. Yeah.
yeah, so and I feel that Al Gore's work was also part of and probably is in alignment with Dr. Greer, even though I don't think they communicate or
Right.
they're on two different, like they're on one hand and then on the other hand.
I think Al Gore, whether he realizes it, I don't know if he realizes it, but he probably is a starseed. Although I would say that the fact that he cared about the planet more than anything else, he was telling the future of what the planet could be like and what it is like and what things are coming if we don't take care of Mother Earth. So, I mean, isn't that what the people that came starseed that are here now, people that are here that are remembering who they are, saying, I came here to help the Earth, I came here to help the planet, I came here to help all the life forms. And Al Gore, forgetting, not being political, he was like a beacon out there at the time saying, wait a minute, look what we're doing to the earth. It's
Absolutely.
like, a space person coming here and saying, I was in a earth-based government, but I'm going to tell you, I can't tell you I came from another planet, but I can tell you you're messing up your planet, right? So from
Absolutely.
that perspective,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, so if you look at his TED Talks, fast forward now into to 20 years ago was Inconvenient Truth, and then or maybe even more. But if you look, if you search and Google his TED Talks, he's
yeah,
still doing the work, and maybe that wasn't his mission. I truly believe we have a mission.
right,
And I want to say something really great about this program and what the commander has brought to my life is that I've got clarity now on my mission, in
oh
life.
really,
Yeah, because I feel like for a little while there, when the move back to Connecticut, I thought I was going to stay in Florida. I thought that it was going to be my permanent residency, and that's what I was going to end up staying.
hmm
And
hmm
I just was, we had the hurricane,
yeah,
and the hurricane was, I was right in Naples, and the hurricane hit Naples pretty hard.
okay,
I don't think I would ever want to live through something like that again. So I decided that I was going to leave the area and come back up north where I'm from. And, when you have life changes like that, huge transitional life changes like that, because to me, Florida is like living on another planet as opposed to living in
yeah.
Connecticut, right? Ecologically speaking, like the way that the,
Right.
ecology is down there, everything's
Yeah.
just so different.
I just find it funny you say Florida's like living on another planet. The funny thing about Florida is there's a lot of, because of the Bermuda Triangle, there's a lot of people that we have as guests here that have encounters, visitations, sightings constantly down there.
Yeah,
And when you talk about another planet, in a way, if you take that in a surreal way of stating it, it really is like going into another world, except that not on the Earth, but what comes about over portions of Florida are the spaceships, or what people call UFOs, or encounters with space beings in their backyard. A lot of that's happening. The Bermuda Triangle, believe it or not, goes right into Florida on the land, into a portion of it. The same thing goes with North Carolina and South Carolina. That's how big the Bermuda Triangle is. And if you can imagine in that triangle, all these different things happening constantly, people record UFO activity. People have had visitations of beings that are like Zetas and maybe some other types of beings, but the Zetas seem to be most commonly stated in the last couple of years in that part of Florida. That would be the southeastern portion of the state.
Yeah, it's an incredible space. I mean, I
Yeah,
was reluctant in the beginning being there, but when I had an experience in the Everglades, it's, it's otherworldly. We don't
yeah, it is.
realize the beauty of our planet until we get into the awesome openness, the vastness of, but like the Everglades was otherworldly to me.
Yeah.
It was what
And the
I
Everglades has a lot of sightings too. If people Google search Everglades UFOs, there's definitely things in there if they've been documented. So what you're talking about is a lot of truth about the realms of Florida beyond the regular people that live there, going to shopping malls or going to the beach. There's another part of Florida that's having what you call metaphysical events, or UFO events, or even ETs walking in their yard late at night.
Yeah, and I think the biggest problem with Florida right now is that they are just, like you said, it's becoming like a concrete, development and shopping malls and things. But if you can like find your way, because my quest when I was down there was to get into nature and find my way
Yeah,
outside of those realms so that I could connect to Earth. And yeah, like Chesna was just saying, he drove across Alligator Alley. So I lived one exit away from that exit to where you get on to Alligator Alley. So we had a lot of like wildlife that would come. And
wow,
you want to talk about an alien sighting, is seeing an
right,
actual alligator for the first time is like having an they are the most they're like dinosaurs walking the earth. And
yeah,
just to see it like in your realm of, like in your neighborhood, walking across
yeah,
your neighbor's back lanai grass. It's just it's absolutely alluring and exhilarating, and it's almost like a blessing and a spiritual blessing in a way, because they're afraid of humans. They really are. They're afraid of humans. But for me, when I got into the Everglades and I saw the vast beauty, and I realized, it dawned on me that there was, it hit me again that, we live on a multidimensional planet, and that there is everything going on at the same time. So
mm,
we have the, difficulties we have, and yet we also have the beauty and the greatness, and we have places to go where we could heal, and connect to the beauty and of the creator, because when we connect to the beauty of the creator, and we connect to like that God kind of energy,
yeah,
the Christ-centeredness, we
yeah,
can elevate our consciousness, and then we can connect to the source of all beingness and who
yeah,
we are.
absolutely,
And and once we do that, we can then um, evolve safely into more understanding, and safely in a way that is yeah, I love the chat. The chat's so cool. Yeah, and Pamela Hunter 550 says they're afraid unless they're hungry. Yeah, that is absolutely true. They warn you not to like walk your little dogs if there are alligators in your neighborhood, because they live in every pond in
Oh
Florida.
yeah, the
So,
alligators are everywhere. Yeah,
and they're like 6 to 8 feet long. They're enormous. They're not like little alligators. They're tiny. And they remind me of an alien species, like a ET,
yeah.
or a species that would be
Oh, the alligators. Yeah,
otherworldly.
yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And being from Connecticut, it's not something we ever experienced.
No.
But
And
there,
speaking of otherworldly, let's also just say this is Grace, our spiritual cosmic counselor on the show, and she's a regular part of it. Our co-host is hanging around with ghosts in Florida right now in a haunted house, and they're scaring kids and all that stuff. So, and a standing up alligator, yes.
oh
And
my God,
the other
yeah.
thing, yes, so we want to let people, this is Encounters. This is the late night talk show. I'm CmdrAleon from Mars. Yes, I am out of the closet. I'm from Mars. I'm in a human body. I'm from Mars. You understand that? See, I think some people are going to say, how can he be in a human body and he's from Mars? You have to elevate your consciousness of thinking. Okay.
That's
And
right.
so I'm a contactee since the 60s with space people look just like us. I'm also the talk show host of 20 years on NPR Pacific Radio, Ash Torkerman Radio, and we'd like to hear your stories. So people out there, I know there are people out here, there's 113 of you, who has a encounter that's going on with visitations. We love visitation stories, and if you come out of the closet and share them, we will have you on the air to talk about it, because we need to, we're a place of disclosure here. We're a show that wants people to come out of the closet, share what's going on out there. Austin does. Who's Austin? Where's Austin?
Austin says, I have lots of them. I would love to come on with you guys for a second. You can't just come on for a second, though.
You can't come on for a second. You have to come on for at least three. Where's Austin? I don't see Austin. Where is Austin?
Yeah, and Chris said something about cane toads. Cane toads are poisonous, and they literally are another like species that remind me of something you'd see on another planet. And they're like this. You put your fists together, and they're the size of both your fists. And
Okay,
they,
Chesil says above my last comment. Let's see. Oh, Austin. I see Austin. Austin, we're going to bring you on here.
yeah, we have
And everyone,
lots and
welcome.
lots
And
of
Austin,
stories.
please turn your camera on. That's very important. We want you to be well known and famous on Encounters, just like Skip the Graces. Hey,
Okay.
Austin, welcome to the
All
show.
right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you turn your
Okay.
camera on? Do you know how to do that?
How you doing, Austin?
I'm trying to figure it out. It's my first
We'll
time
help
doing
you.
this. Hold on.
Okay, so how you do it
Wait
is you press the camera and then you press
Ah,
you got it pretty quick. There
got
you
it.
go.
There we
Good
go.
going.
All right. So I got
Well,
people
welcome to
sleeping.
the
So thanks. So I'm in the
well,
bathroom right now. So it looks a little weird, but I'm in here because there's some people
no
sleeping up there and I don't want to wake them up.
no worries. You're on the number one UFO talk show on social media, so welcome.
Thanks. Appreciate it. The invite. Okay. So I've had some really, really crazy encounters the last 4 years. So it kind of, there's a little story to this. I have to tell you this so you understand. When I was younger, I used to see things a lot, specifically reptilians that used to harass me and like scare me, and would like say things to me, would like come out my closet on my bed. Now it sounds cliche, but let me tell you, as I got older and realized that they're portals they're coming from. They're not actually, so it might sound like, oh, like a little kid
Right,
thing, but right. So
right,
this thing, the first time I saw it, it was about 7 foot plus. It didn't have it, and it sounds a little weird. It didn't have like a private area. It was all green, no clothes. I'm describing as a 7-year-old what I saw. Okay.
right,
This thing was slimy looking. I didn't see a tail or nothing like that. It had a snout. It was kind of short though. There's lots of different species of these things. I
right.
realized as I got older, but this one particularly, I guess there is one called a Draconian, and they're like 20 feet.
Yeah,
And
draconians. Yes.
yeah. So I specifically, I seen him, but he wasn't messing with me. He was messing with someone else while this other one was like harassing me. They were like other entities that were like messing with like, I'm going to say other souls. I don't know because I remember as a kid getting pulled and dragged down to like, it was like I was floating and I was going underground. And it makes sense as I get older now that there are reptilians that do live underground. Now, I did see other entities and stuff like that harassing other souls. I don't know how you put that into
Now,
content, but
when you say harassing, do you say there were other extraterrestrials disagreeing with each other, or interacting with each other,
no.
where they were like,
They were straight reptilian. So there were different forms of reptilian, and there was a draconian. Reason why I know the draconian because they're the only ones with wings and stuff like that. This thing looked like
hmm,
a dragon almost. It looked
yeah,
scary. It looked really scary. But anyways, moving forward, I was living in a low vibration. At this time, my mom was on drugs. She was a prostitute. My dad left me at 3 months old. I was living in a very low vibrating state at this point. I
yeah,
was taken away in a placement. Long story short, I got out when I was 18. I ended up being with a woman for 16 years. I was a narcissist. There's a reason why it's going
hmm,
here. Okay, so I was with her for a narcissist. She worked for the sheriff's department as a head nurse, but worked for the sheriff's department as a nurse. And so one day we got a house together. Long story short, after we bought the house, she left me, took the house, yada yada, kicked me out. So before I left, we had kids together. We had about 4 kids together. Now, before I left, I was struggling with religion and stuff like that. I was raised Catholic, but a lot of things didn't resonate with me. And like again, I'm not saying anything bad about anyone's religion. I have love for everybody. This is just my personal experience. So I'm up there, I'm crying to myself in my bedroom, and I'm thinking like, I'm 40 years old. I put all my eggs in a basket, you know, So I look up a verse of Archangel Michael's, and it was a strength quote, and I said it every day. Now, this woman told me that I'm not allowed to tell my kids, or she would kick me out earlier. I would have to tell them that my stomach hurts. Okay,
hmm,
yeah. So, long story short, I had this psychic that called me out of the blue. Now, I don't put my stuff on Facebook because I'm old school. I try to work things out but in reality, I was trying to contour myself to this woman that was not really good for me, But my mind
hmm,
was like, I had tunnel vision at the time, so I'm thinking, okay, this woman is giving me a reading. So my first thought is, maybe she can help me with this relationship. So she starts telling me things that I don't tell anybody else. And I'm so thinking, I'm like, I don't put it on Facebook. And she's telling me like intimate things. And she's seeing how this
hmm,
woman is to me. So she was like, I would love to do a deeper reading. And so she did that. And then she offered Reiki. Now, I've never heard of Reiki at this point. So,
hmm,
but she knew, and for some reason, she knew I had French doors in this house that I just got. And at nighttime,
yeah,
sometimes I go outside. I love stargazing. So I would go outside when my kids go to sleep. I'd have a joint and I'd look at the stars.
yeah,
Now, so she told me to go look at the stars or go outside. I'm sorry. I'm not even sorry. So go outside, lay on the your chair,
hmm,
and I'm going to do Reiki on you. And then she told me what I might feel her and things that I might see or whatever. In my mind, it sounds really cool, but I I was skeptical, but I was open, to the fact, okay, we'll see what
right,
happens. For some reason, she knows all these things about me. I have no idea how she does, so I'll go
hmm,
with it. So I closed my eyes. The first thing that happened, I started seeing these colors, and it was like in a wavy pattern. I started seeing colors that were like I want to say non-existent because I can't even explain the colors. I've never seen them in my life.
right.
And then all of a sudden, this is going to sound really, really crazy. This is my first experience. Well,
Nothing's
second
crazy on
actually.
encounters.
I had
Good.
Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael came in quasi-physical, so they look like you and me. They look physical, but they weren't. It was really crazy. So here I am. I'm crying and stuff like this, like because before they came in, I felt this overwhelming sensation of love because they live in a high love vibration. So I
A
can't even
high vibration,
explain.
yes.
Yeah, I can't even explain the sensation. I was bathing in it. It was almost like having your first kid times 1,000. I don't even know how to explain it. It was so
Okay.
beautiful. And so when he first came in, he looked like it. They each looked different. First of all, okay, the one I'm not, and again, I'm not a Bible thumper, so I don't know exactly who these characters were at this point. Okay, so he came in, Archangel Michael came in, Raphael came in behind him. Michael looked like a gladiator. He had an illuminated sword. The tip was illuminated. Sorry, just the tip was
Yeah.
like a golden color. Now, Raphael also came in, but he looked completely different. He looked like a green plasma emerald color. And it
Wow.
was really, yeah, it was beautiful. And he said to me, he said, we believe in you. You don't have to believe in us. It doesn't matter what religion you come from. We love you. And I was bawling because at the time I'm feeling like crap, from this narcissist, and I just lost all this stuff, and like I'm thinking all these people go to
Right.
church and like they
Right.
worship you
Right.
guys. It's like, why me? So that's my first thought. But I'm not special. I mean, they do this for everyone. But at that point, I'm like, I'm feeling like I'm in a movie almost. You know what I mean? So, anyways,
Yeah.
Raphael comes up to me and he wraps his cloak around me like this little cape, and he hugs me. And when he told me that, it was like it was the best feeling in the world. So I ended up moving to Canada a week before COVID. I married the psychic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Canada.
So I moved to a different country. I'm from the States, but I'm from Buffalo, New York. So I'm only like an hour, an hour away
Not
from
from
Canada.
the border. You're close to the
Yeah,
border. Yeah.
right, right. So I ended up moving over there, ended up marrying the psychic.
You
I
married a,
ended
you,
up,
mar- you
yeah,
married a psychic?
I married the woman that actually did that to me. To me,
Really?
it was all
That's
spirit.
amazing.
It's synchronicity, spiritual, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's got to be. And so I go over there. All of a sudden, when she
Meant to
did
be.
that,
Thank you. Thank you.
I started seeing all these things. And then like it was really weird because I felt like I can read somebody, but yet I don't know because I've never done it. So I went on Facebook. I went into these little psychic pages, which you're not allowed to do, right? And I would pull people to the side and I'd like start writing things down and, hey, this ever
Right.
happened to you? And for some reason it started off with just females for some reason, and it would be everyone that would relate it that would have
Yeah.
like something that was like similar to my life almost. It was very, very
Hmm.
weird. And then, so I got really excited, and I'm like, I want to learn, I want to do this more, and blah blah blah. And then I started
Wow.
seeing things, but I realized I started seeing more extraterrestrials than I do see spirits. I do see spirits,
Yeah.
but very, very rarely. It's not like I can pull them down, like, hey Joe, calm down, how you doing? High five,
Hey,
how you
Joe, come
doing?
on. Come on down.
But I see them, and it's very, they just happen to appear randomly. So I've been
Yeah.
learning. I'm still a beginner. I've been doing it for 4 years. But
Wow.
do you know who Bashar is? Channeled by
Bashar?
Daryl Anka. Yeah. He
Yeah.
record. Okay.
Bashar.
I have
Dal
something with
Anka
it.
is the real deal. He's real.
Exactly. Exactly. So when I was going through this stuff, I was going to pay him because it cost $400 to go on his show. Now I got 4 kids.
$400.
Christmas was
Yeah.
coming up. So I'm like thinking, okay, I wanted to do this for my Christmas gift, but I'm thinking, okay, I can't afford that right now. I want to make sure they get this stuff. I told my wife, I'll do mine or whatever after Christmas, make sure my kids get it. Lo and behold, a half hour later, not even it was crazy. I get a text. You've been randomly selected from Bashar. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, come on!
Randomly
This
selected.
synchronicity is
Now,
this is
let me
wild.
slow you down for a minute. How do you get randomly selected by Dal
Because
Anka?
okay, so they were having a thing where you ask a question and you do something specifically and you share them out and they pick you out of everybody. So
Really?
yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I did it from. It wasn't TikTok,
Was
it,
it like you got a free ticket or
but
something? What was that
well,
like?
no, not a free ticket. They called me. I got to answer some questions. So I got to verify a lot of the things that I went through. And I have it on recording. I wasn't supposed to record it because he told me, he said, listen, this is supposed to be live. The questions I'm asking you is going to be before the live. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I knew he knew I was recording him, but
Right.
the person
Right.
that was actually setting it up, I didn't tell her. And I'm like, I have to have some type of proof here because I need to have people understand when I'm communicating what's going on. I
Right.
have had so many experiences with extraterrestrials. I need to know that these are really happening, and I wasn't losing my mind. I knew it was, but I needed
Hmm.
Yeah.
verification. So, anyways, another thing that happened to me was I sell crystals, by the way, and it doesn't really matter, but I think these crystals really helped me out. I started getting drawn to crystals, and I'm like, man, I might as well open up a freaking my own business now. Like I'm buying them constantly. So, anyways, I
Right.
got a bunch of crystals. And I realized through setting your intentions and talking through a crystal, like you could set your intentions and stuff. Like all this stuff is
Thank you,
still
Lee.
new to me,
Thank you.
right?
Yeah.
Awesome. That was beautiful. Anyway, so all this stuff is new to me. And so this woman that I married, her name is Abby, she said, okay, this is what you do. This is how you do it. So I'm listening to her while I close my eyes. She gave me a Super 7 crystal. And all of a sudden I see this beam that pops in my head. And I'm thinking, am I making this up? Or am I really seeing this thing? So it started off like, it wasn't physical. I don't know, what do you call that when you see it in your third eye? It's called,
It's telepathy.
Yeah,
no, telepathy is when you talk and
it's like
communicate.
When
clairvoyant,
it's
like a
Yeah,
clairvoyance.
but
clairvoyant,
there's a name for it when it doesn't come in quasi-physical. I guess quasi because it's not
Yeah,
physical form. It's almost like if you would
it's
run a car.
semi-physical.
It's okay.
Yeah,
So sometimes you see entities. It's almost like if you would run a car, really old cars like the '80s, when you would run a car in the wintertime, it gets real thick smoke.
yeah,
Okay, but it creates a picture. Okay,
yeah,
sometimes it's
like a
dark and smoke, like dirty smoke.
ectoplasm, like an
Okay,
ectoplasm.
right. Okay. So, and most of the time when I do see beings, it's just their neck and their head, unless I ask them physically. And some of them,
hmm.
they can't communicate. Well, they do communicate, but they don't talk. All of them talk telepathically. Every single one of them, at least that I've
That's right.
talked to.
It's telepathic. That's
So,
absolutely
yeah,
correct.
right. Okay. So back to this crystal. I'm looking and talking to this being. Well, kind of talking to this being. I'm asking it questions. It's not talking to me, but it's responding. So I'm looking at this being showing me its face. The first thing I asked it was like, "Can I see your body?" Because I'm always seeing faces in the neck, and I want to see if I can see your body. So it's showing me inside some. I'm guessing it's a craft because he was driving something. It looked like he was because he was on the side. He didn't have a steering wheel or nothing, but his hands were down. He was looking towards like somewhere else, not facing me. When I asked to
Right.
see its body, um, so it started showing me his body. It was humanoid looking. It was a grayish
Wow.
green color, like a mixture of a gray and a greenish color. The gray would be more of uh, hmm,
Was
like
this
a murky
being
gray.
was he like gray greenish? Was he like looking human like you, or like
He was
just the
more human. He was more humanoid. I would say that he had the normal. I guess everyone would say like the almond eyes. Not all of them have almond eyes, but this one particularly had
right?
almond eyes. But
Yeah,
as he got to his feet, he had tentacles. I thought that was fascinating because wasn't in water. But he had
yeah.
octopus type legs, and they were like 2 or 3 feet on each one. It was really weird.
Wow.
But he was positioned in a seat. He was actually sitting on a seat. It was really weird. Yeah, that was a cool. So I asked him, "Where is he from?" And when I asked him where he was from, everything got into color. It was really weird, and it almost looked like the night, like back in VHSs when you would hit forward and everything would go fast like this and move out of the
Right,
way.
right, right. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like into that mode for like 15 seconds. I was like, for some reason, I was going really fast in outer space, like stars, everything was moving out of the way, and then it like stopped at this planet. It looked like Saturn, but I asked him. I said, "Is that Saturn?" Because it had a ring around it. I'm not an expert in this stuff, but
Mm.
it looked like
Right, right.
Saturn should be. So he shook his head no, but he didn't tell me what it was. He wasn't speaking, but he was
Now
somehow understanding
I
what I
got to
was
stop you
saying.
just for a minute because you have so much you're giving.
Yeah.
So this is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. I'm CmdrAleon. We have Austin on here. Skipper Grace is here with us. And can you now? I have the feeling as I'm listening, I get vibes and information. You were physically taken on a spaceship. That's
Um.
what I'm
I,
getting.
there's been times that like I haven't. Okay. I sometimes I don't know how I do it, but I pop out of my body, and I don't know how to do it. I just do it randomly, and there's been times I've done
Hmm.
it for like months at end. So like I haven't, I guess, I hasn't physically been on the ship, but I have consciously been on
But
the
you
ship.
actually,
I
may I
guess.
say something? You actually have been. You just can't. You just don't remember it. That's why. So when I read stories, if you see my show, yes, you Grace knows this. When I read people's energy, they don't. They'll make it feel comfortable for you that you're in your home, but instead you're actually on a spaceship. They can make the surroundings look like your home or your room, but you're traveling on a
Absolutely.
spaceship.
Yes.
That's exactly what you did.
And you know what? It's really mind blowing is the spaceship that one of them I went on was very small, but when you go inside, it's gigantic because they can do
Yeah.
something that manipulate. I don't know what they do, but it's not what it seems when you look on the outside. Like if you look at
Yeah.
something with ours, you're going to know if you see a
Oh my
spaceship. Like
God.
we have a
Thank you.
spaceship that's 20 feet, and you go inside, it's going to be the diameters is going to be something around that, maybe 10 or 11 feet, depending on what you got in there, right?
Yeah.
This thing, Like if it say it was 15 feet, inside was probably like 100. Like it was super, super big. And what's really weird about one of the ships I seen, everything had low light. And I realized a lot of these extraterrestrials that wear sunglasses like we do, the caps, that wear the black things
Oh,
that
the
when you see,
caps. Yeah, those are
yeah, they're
caps.
caps that they could pop off and
I
on.
never, you know what? I always thought that was their eyes, but that's a
Me
protective
too.
shield. They
Yeah,
actually have regular eyes like we do. They wear those caps, the ones that
I
are
never
like that.
knew that. I thought that was fascinating. I
Yeah,
also,
that's
there was a
crazy. I
woman,
never knew that either.
sorry. Yeah,
Go ahead.
this lady was telling me that there's extraterrestrial was actually telling me this. There was a woman there that you ever see Predator, not Predator, like Alien, how it had that stretched out head, thin, but it was
Yeah, yeah,
stretched.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, this entity or this being, should I say, was blue, a very very beautiful blue. I don't even know how to explain the blue. I would
Yeah,
say like this blue. I would kind of like that mirror blue. You see the blue right there, almost
yeah,
a little bit
like
darker.
an
Okay.
aqua blue, an ocean blue.
Yeah, yeah, kind of. Okay, and she was wearing, and this is gonna sound a little strange again. She was wearing a blue dress, very glittery. That's the best way I can explain it. She had a
Hmm.
human face, but a stretched out head.
Oh
And she
yeah,
was, and she was
that's like what's that movie with what's the actor who has
alien,
dementia
right?
now? Bruce Willis. He was in a movie. What was it called? There were these ancient beings, and there was
Oh,
gosh, I got to remember
did they
this.
have stretched
The
out
Fifth
heads?
No,
Element.
I
Yes,
don't
the
remember
Fifth
the name
Element.
of
The
that.
woman
I
that
know what
was
you're talking
singing.
about.
She was yeah, the Fifth Element. The woman
I
was singing
remember
on a
that.
stage. She was blue.
Yeah,
Fifth Element. Fifth
I remember
Element.
that
The Fifth
movie.
Element.
It's been a
Yeah,
while.
the
But
opera
anyways,
singer. Yes, Starshine. Yes.
yeah,
Good
I
movie.
do
Yeah.
remember that a little bit. She was telling me that, like, telepathically, that she's not going to smile, and I'm thinking to myself, why is this woman not wanting to smile? She's very pretty, you know.
Yeah.
Regardless of what she looked like, she was her energy was so beautiful. You like these
Right.
beings before you even meet them, you can know right away that they're, you know, they
Right.
mean good intentions, right? So
Wow.
she's smiling like this, but she's got her mouth closed. Now, I realized after she told me that, do you ever see dogs when they have those little like skin flaps over their teeth sometimes and stuff like that, a little extra skin?
Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
teeth were like really needly, and she had those flaps, and she didn't want to scare me. Isn't that
Okay.
crazy? Yeah, yeah.
So,
Oh,
So,
so
nothing's crazy on here.
Austin, are these, can I just wait, because there's so much information. I want to
I
ask you
know, I know.
something.
I'm sorry.
No,
It's
I can
okay.
tell you're excited, so
I
it's
do. I get super
super.
excited about
And
this.
I had to
This is
move
great.
my location because I had a was running out of my phone. I don't know what it is with TikTok, but it sucks the life out of my battery. But anyway, what are you? Okay, so this is what I'm getting. Are you dreaming? Are you in a semi-dream state when you're experiencing
No,
these? Are
nope.
you seeing these people
I'm seeing it
physically?
physically,
Yeah,
physically.
he's actually there.
Yeah, yeah.
Where though?
And I don't
Where
see them
are you?
physically all the time. Like I said, sometimes I'll go meditation. Within 10 seconds, I'm in that. I'm like, boom. And
Yeah.
I'm starting to see things and stuff.
So you're
Now,
seeing this with your mind's eye.
yes, yes, third eye.
Okay,
Yep,
okay, I
yep.
gotcha,
So
gotcha.
I'm not sleeping. I put myself in a state where I'm tired, but I'm not sleeping. And I'll know I'm awake. I'm like there. I can open up my eyes. But
And
as
what
soon
they're
as I
doing
start,
is they're
what
taking
happens?
Austin. Go ahead.
Sorry, what happens is when I close my eyes, and any one of you guys can do this, what I realize is that we're all gifted. People lie when they're like, "Oh, you're gifted." No, 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 you're not. But you're a little bit more gifted than others. No, no,
Hmm.
we're all gifted. We're all
Oh yeah.
gifted,
Right.
and that's what people tell you.
That's right.
And you know, so what you do is
Mhm.
when you close your eyes, it's super simple. When you close your eyes, you'll
Hmm.
start seeing colors swirl. Those colors will
Right.
start
Absolutely.
forming. Everyone sees colors. Some people see it, and it takes time. Some take 10 minutes, an hour, half hour, 10 minutes. It depends on
Hmm.
how
Yes.
frequently you do it and you train yourself. Okay.
Okay.
So when these colors start coming, there's multiple things. Colors, all right. So colors are also absorbed into I realize that they're also messages, and they're frequencies that come thousands and millions of obviously light years away.
Yeah.
And when you get them and you receive them, not all the time they're entities. Sometimes they're just messages and stuff like that, and you can absorb them. I know it sounds a little weird, but I've I I don't know the right way to do anything. There's not really a right way. Just like when you do
There
tarot
is no
cards,
right
you
way. It
learn.
just happens,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Let
So
me.
I learned how to do tarot cards, but there's not really a wrong way to do it. It's all intuitive, right?
It's
Well,
extremely
you
intuitive.
don't even need the tarot cards. Let me say
No,
something,
no, no, I don't.
Mrs.
I don't. I
Commander.
don't. But I'm saying, when I was learning these things, these are the things that
Yeah.
I was really enjoying. I wanted to know. I wanted to run before I can crawl because I couldn't explain all these things that were happening to me. And half the people were like, I'm like, yeah, okay, I need to talk to Daryl. I need to talk to someone that is on that level where I can get information from, and
Right.
understand. So I'm going to tell you one that really will probably blow your minds. And I got the audio, and I can send it to you on the side if you want.
Yeah.
My
I want to
Facebook.
see that. Yeah.
Okay,
Or
so I don't
hear
have
it.
it on TikTok. It's on Facebook. So you got to go on Austin
Okay.
Miller and look up my name. I'll have a picture. I won't be on there, but it'll be like a face and like a person, kind of like
Yeah.
a drawing of a person inside of a head or something like that. But you'll see. I'll say
Yeah.
Austin Miller from Buffalo, New York, and that would be me. And I got
Okay.
pictures of a fairy. I got pictures of um, of orbs with people inside of it. Now I know this sounds silly,
Wow.
but I got actual real pictures. No, and you can look them up on Google. Ain't nobody got a picture of that shit. Nobody. You can play with the contrast on it to know that it's real. And as you play with the contrast, you can see another ghost in the background, a woman that has high cheekbones and eyelashes. I circled it. So I've been going through all these things. I've been trying
Interesting.
to document all this stuff. But yeah, it's been crazy. So let me tell you the real popper here. So
We're
I
gonna
moved to
go
Canada.
right for it, Austin.
Yeah, I moved to Canada, and every day I've been meditating. And because I've been so addicted to seeing things, I would meditate for like 4 or 5 hours sometimes because I
Oh,
was seeing
wow.
things so much. I'm just like, there's got to be. This is what opened up my life because I'm like, there's got to be more to life than this. It's like, what else is the government hiding? If all this is happening,
Right.
you know what I realized? The real ETs are already here.
Oh,
That
yeah,
they're already contacting with us, and that they think that
absolutely.
people like they have the ability to cover themselves up, and it's only because we can
Yeah.
only. They told me this. They said only because you can see and hear so many hertz. Things have been living around you for many, many thousands of years.
Oh
The
yeah.
space that you think is not occupied is occupied right now. You just can't see it. So as you raise your
Yeah.
vibration, you start to get to peek and see things around you, and this is how you start seeing things. So
Absolutely.
what happened? So I would go across the street to this pond from my house, and I would feed the ducks every day. Sometimes I have my daughter with me, and then I would go meditate by this tree.
Yeah.
Now, I've never met my guide before, and it sounded really cool. I've been seeing a lot of things, so I was like, sitting there. I tried to talk to my guide. I don't know if it was a he or she, but I tried to make a connection.
Right.
I started having this being talk to me, and it was very weird because normally when I hear spirits, I can see the direction they're coming from. Not all the time I can see them. Sometimes it's just like a blind
Yeah.
person. You're gonna follow. Um, but this person, it sounded like they lowered a mic in the middle of my head, so it was crisp, it was clear, but it sounded like because our frequency was not a match, it sounded like an old radio getting tuned in. I could tell it was a woman, and she was trying to communicate with me, but it was just like very, very. I don't want to say staticky, but it was cutting in and out really bad. So I couldn't really. It
Yeah.
was very distorted. So I started peeking a little bit. I'm thinking I wanted to make sure no one was playing games with me, around the tree or something like that. So I got all excited. I got up like an
Yeah.
idiot, which I should have stayed. And I ran home to my wife. Babe, guess what? Yada 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 yada.
Yeah.
So I didn't see her again for 2 months. I seen her again. This time I finally got to see what she looked like. This was fascinating. She was a Plieadian. Her name is Shoshana, and she is from Taygeta, from the Plieadian constellation. And she looked so freaking humanoid, I couldn't believe it. Her, but she was tall. She was like 7'4", 7 foot plus. Very beautiful, blonde hair. But her blonde hair looked more bleached than I can even imagine. I can't even explain it. It was so bleached looking. Her skin looked. I don't want to say worse because I don't want them to feel weird because it almost looked like an albino, but
Yeah.
but different. It was like maybe not even having any sun. I know they have sun, but like that's why I can explain what her skin looked like. But she had blue
Right.
eyes, very intelligent. She looked like she was wearing normal clothes. She was sitting in a wooden chair. That wooden chair was not in my room. For some reason, she was sitting in a wooden chair, and she was just staring at me. She didn't
Wow.
talk to me for like 2 minutes. She was just gazing at me. So I didn't see her again. Another month passes. Now this is where it gets interesting. I astro traveled somehow. I popped out of my body. I look down. I see my eyes going back and forth. I'm leaving. I see her. I don't know if we went to where she's from or somewhere on Earth, but I realized we were doing something, and it was all telepathically feeling. So they can have sex in multiple different ways, which is really weird to me. So, and I
Hmm.
have this on recording with Bashar, so it sounds really weird, but I have it all on recording, and I want to show it to you.
I want to
So,
stop you just for a minute. It's like I'm reading
yeah,
your energy about her.
yeah,
Can I give you some information about this Plieadian woman?
yeah,
Would you like to hear? So I'm
absolutely.
going to close my eyes for a minute and just I'm going to tune into the energy. Give me a moment. People
Okay.
know I do this. This is the beauty of what I love doing. This is for you. So this woman sitting in a wooden chair, the Plieadian woman, one point you said you were like zipping somewhere.
Yep.
You were taken on board a spaceship again. The surroundings look very much like a home, but they can make the surroundings on their ship look comfortable for
You know
a
what?
human,
I
and
think
you
you're
were
right.
actually on a spaceship.
I
You were
think
on
you're
a spaceship.
100% right. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why I think you're right. Now that you said that, it kind of clicks. I'm gonna tell you why. Because in the beginning, okay, I can't remember. I was on her, but we weren't physically having sex. We had this. It was telepathic, but and I don't mean to be inappropriate, but when you have sex with a woman or something like that, and you have that feeling, you get those feelings, and those eyes go, and it's going through everything was there. We just weren't doing it. And all of a sudden, she showed me an image in my head, and it was about 100 babies in a clear cylinder. I would say about 6 or 7 feet. These babies, and I knew right now I was part of something. I didn't know exactly, and I'm like, they're my babies. Like I knew it.
Wow.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so they showed me these babies these babies looked like 12-year-olds, but they were in fetal positions. They were in some type of clear, it looked like water.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
didn't see anything else attached, but they were all floating in water. I found that fascinating. So I go on there, Bashar, and he's telling me I'm part of the sixth hybridization program. I was like, wow. Isn't that
Wait a minute.
freaking
I got to
crazy?
stop you there. So Bashar says about this program. The woman that was the Plieadian. I want to get back a little bit. I'm going to give you some more information and continue on your story because I'm going to fill in some gaps here.
Yeah.
So you actually, before coming to Earth, have a relationship with this woman. If you can understand that, you have an
Oh no,
Earth-based
I do.
life.
I believe so for sure.
You and this woman, and I'm getting this now. I'm getting this right now very strongly. You and her have a relationship. You actually have had a relationship with her before you came to
I've had a
Earth.
relationship with her
You
too, and you. You know how I know that? Because before we come down here, it's not physical contracts, but I might come down as your dad to teach you a lesson, like dad might come down and show you some things. It might be someone that you might not like in your life, but that's why we constantly reincarnate, and that's how we are all one being. That's how we're all connected.
right?
So most of the people that are soul family that we connect with in our life, we know each other. Like I might have been your mom, I might have been your dad, I could have been the son or the aunt or the
Right.
uncle or whatever. So we've
Right.
been there in life. I realized that life is a scale. There's no hell, and this is my experience. I realized that because I even know there's no past life, quote unquote, and there's no future. Everything is happening in the now. You understand that,
Yes.
right?
The
How that
now
works?
moment. Yes.
Okay. For some reason, I was picking up my past lives, but they explained to me that that's still happening. That is just another point of view that you know what I get what I'm saying. So all
Yeah.
this is just really mind blowing. I'm taking all this in. I don't even just like you are. This is I you know I don't
It's
have any other
fantastic.
mediums or
Your
psychics
stories
to
are
show me
fantastic.
things.
Yeah.
I'm
They're
taking it
great.
as I get it.
I hope that you're recording, like documenting and
Oh
this or
yes,
writing
yes.
some of this
I
down.
have a recorder, and sometimes when I talk to spirits, you can hear them in the background, like move or
Hmm.
like do certain things.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
or when I see, what I do too, I record when I close my eyes and I meditate. So whatever I see, I'll describe it real quick so I can document all this. I try to make a book so I can go through it when I
Yeah.
pick up on other things and stuff like
You
that.
I
A
got a
lot of
question
these,
for you,
yeah,
Austin.
yeah.
Do the spirits and the Palladian being or any of the space people do they see the spirits? The spirits are aware. Have you ever seen the spirit and the ET connect with each other?
The only time I've ever seen them two connect together when I was when I was younger from the Draconians, where there were other spirits down there, what they were harassing and stuff and like messing with. Other than that, I've never seen them together.
Okay,
I have astral traveled before, and I've seen other astral travelers as I astral traveled before. Not all the time have I done
interesting.
that, but only a couple times. I've also pulled somebody in one time, which was really weird. It was super weird. It was actually my wife
Hmm.
that I married. I was in Buffalo at the time, and I was talking to the angels at the time because I had the experience with them. And even though it sounds funny, I was talking to her for like an hour and a half, just running my mouth. Next thing you know, I'm thinking about my wife at that time, and her face, like I pop out, and her face somehow comes in, and it's really weird. It was doing a U factor. It was just doing like a half a
Yeah,
U, and her
yeah.
eyes were shut, and it was almost like she didn't have her whole body. It was almost like they cut out her face. It was really weird. So
Hmm.
I got startled. I woke up like whatever, and I got popped back in or somehow. I called her. I'm like, Abby, I'm like, this just happened. She was like, oh my God, I was downstairs doing college work. I was just nodding off. Isn't that crazy? So I don't
Amazing.
know.
Your
I don't
stories
have
are
words for it.
amazing.
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah.
words for it. But okay, so this other time I had a meditation chair down in my basement, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was tired. I couldn't sleep in my bed, so I went downstairs and I laid down there in the recliner. Now something said, "Open up my eyes." I opened up my eyes. I had this being that was hovering over my body, almost like it was laying on top of me.
Hmm.
And yeah, it was cool but weird. And it was doing something. So I screamed, not that I was scared, I screamed because it startled me. It was like literally 6 inches from my face. I could have hugged it.
What did the being look like, by the way?
It looked like one of those like remember I told you if you run an old car, really thick smoke.
Yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
physical. So, but it was floating on me. It looked like that. It looked honestly, it looked
Was it like
chubby. It looked chubby.
If I use the word translucent, would that be like
Oh, it was
translucent
definitely
meaning you can?
translucent. Yes, it was thick,
Okay, we'll
but it was
use the word
translucent.
translucent.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah, it was translucent, and so when I screamed for a second, it put its arms back like this, but it showed me that it wasn't going to hurt me. It was telling me that, and
Right.
it went through the wall. It backed out like this and showed me. Instead of turning around
Really?
and leaving, yeah, it just showed me his hands and went through the wall. And I'm like, wait a minute, come back. He didn't come back because
Right.
they realized they will not show themselves and they will not even come to you if they think that they're going to hurt you because all they want is to show you and show you love. And I realized the more you get interested in this UFO stuff and these extraterrestrial, your higher self, because that's you, is
Mhm.
going to be more interested in you. And those different
Yeah.
viewpoints of you are going to be more interested in you because that is you. So I
Yeah.
realized that it's very fascinating. But
Well, you are absolutely a fascinating person because as we're sitting here, Grace and I are listening to you and everyone in the audience, it's just one of those things where when I love reading energy from when people talk enough where I can read I can actually see them in my visuals because of what you're saying. And I thank you for that because the Plaidian woman
absolutely,
especially, I mean, you are so connected with her. I mean, I don't know if they, on another planetary world, they are relationships. Earth based, they call it marriage, but you and her have a relationship that is like this. And so, if you haven't seen her recently, she is there. I mean, if you
I haven't
want to
seen her
be with her, you
recently.
can. You
She
have to just
talks to
contact her, just ask for her.
oh yeah, oh she talks to me. She talks to me. And that's the thing.
That's
She
right.
doesn't show herself all the time. It's been about 6 months, but she does talk to me. And when she talks to me, sometimes she shows me symbols and stuff. Not all the time, she uses her voice. I don't know
Right.
why, but some of the symbols I don't understand, so I'll write them down and then I'll wait for, Bashar or, until I get one of those aha moments. Sometimes I write them down. It's
Right.
almost like a spiritual string, I call it, and I pull it and everything comes together. You know what I mean?
Well, you know
Um,
what, Austin? If you want to connect with her physically and visually again, I don't have to tell you this. You automatically are vibrating to the point where you can physically manifest together, and she will come. Matter of
yeah,
fact, if
that's
you
the
say,
thing. You have to
I want
maintain
to
your
go back,
vibration. Yeah,
right? You
right,
maintain your vibration.
right.
You already have that. You can go back on her ship, and go to a journey somewhere in the universe with her. She's just waiting for you to say, hey, you're already communicating with her telepathically. Ask her, say to her, hey, look, I'd like to really take another journey with you on your ship. Can we do that? Do that this week and see what happens. I'd love to hear the update on that.
Absolutely. I would definitely love to do that. I'd like to share one more little tiny story real quick before I go. Before all this stuff happening, I saw a UFO for the first time. It was 10 years before I actually started seeing extraterrestrials, but this thing was only 35 feet from me. It was, I don't know if you're familiar with Buffalo at all, but there's a river there, or a big river there, and it separates Canada and and Buffalo in the States. I meant, sorry. And so I'm sitting there, and usually I go down there, I go fishing or whatever. But I'm looking over here, and there's my sister's with me too, so she sees this too, which is great at this point. So, and we're over there, we're about to go fishing. I look up, and I'm seeing this thing over the skyscraper, and I'm like, whoa! I'm like, this thing looks really weird. It doesn't have any wings or nothing. And I'm just staring at this thing. It starts going extremely, extremely slow. It starts going towards the water. Now, once it hits the water, it's only like 35 feet from me, maybe 40 at the most. Now, this thing was hovering probably around 5 feet from the water. It stayed here for 3 minutes. Now, it looked like a spiral football, but it wasn't. It was dull on the sides, and it had a dirty metallic color. It was seamless. It had no seams on it. Nothing written, no windows, made no noise, and then it shot off vertically and disappeared. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nothing crazy on this show.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, I'm going to have to follow you, which I'll do right now. And
I think I'm following you. Let me make sure of that.
Austin,
I'm following
how did
you.
find the show? Did you just happen to find the live, or?
I've been going through a lot in my life right now. So recently, even though I told you I married this woman over there, things didn't work out. So I came back to Buffalo. I've been trying to get on my feet. I just got myself an apartment. And so I'm just trying to get myself back together and stuff like that. And I just happened to go on here. Now, I really haven't been on here too much. I've been on here at one point when I used to do my business to get people and to do readings and stuff like that. But I've stopped for almost a year. It's been a while since I've been having these experiences and stuff.
So you're not with a physical woman in this reality, correct?
Not right
now.
You are? No.
Well, you know what? I got news for you. This is going to blow people's minds. The reason why you're not with a physical Earth-based human, you're going to be traveling a lot with the Plieadian woman. She's the one. If I had to use the word wife, she's truly the one that loves you. She truly understands you.
Yeah, I strongly believe that for sure.
Yeah, so I want you to know right now, I'm getting information for you. I'm getting really strong vibes here. And when I get like this, it's like I can feel it going through my energy. She loves you. She wants to be with you. She wants you to be with her. She doesn't care if you're on Earth. So you're going to she doesn't have to play any kind of games. She'll take you on the ship and you'll know where to meet her. And she can just come in and take you right on the ship. You will be traveling a lot off planet with her. You're at a vibrational pattern where you're going to be traveling with her. And I say this in all honesty because it's true. My information is always direct.
I feel like, honestly, they're prepping me for something or something. I've been asked to try. Like, again, I don't know how to do it. It just happens. I'll go to sleep and I pop out and I start having these experiences and I start going all over the place. It's really weird.
Yeah.
At first, I was nervous and I was scared because I was scared of heights. So I would go part way, then I go down. And then I go higher, then I go down. and down, I don't care. But, at that point, I was scared. But, I find it fantastic. So anyways, guys, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for letting me come on here.
We love you very much. Yeah.
Thank you,
Austin. I'm going to
follow you.
Yeah, we love
you. I follow you guys too.
You're awesome.
And I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And hopefully I can come back on here and talk to you some more.
Don't hesitate. And when you're taking on that ship, you come back, and if you want to, and tell her the Plieadian woman, she can physically come on the show with you. We'd love to have her on next to you on the TikTok.
It's funny because my highest passion is vocal channeling, and I've been trying to do that. So I'm hoping that I can vocal channel her sooner or later, but it takes time.
You don't even have to channel her. You can bring her in your room. You have the vibrational. This is something you need to understand. You automatically can do things without even having to practice doing it. Your vibrational level, and I know Grace is observing this. This is true. You can manifest and tell her tonight, the Plieadian woman ask her name and say to her that CmdrAleon has invited her to come on your live. And when she's ready to do that, bring her on. Let her not be afraid to be on the screen. I don't know how she'll affect the camera or anything, but she's invited. Yeah, so we're
Absolutely, will
inviting her
do.
on the show. Yeah,
But I'm definitely serious about, if you want to go on my Facebook and check it out, and just
I
message
will.
me like,
I'm going to
hey,
do that.
Austin, and I'll send you the pictures, I'll send you the audio. You'll be mind blown. I got a lot of good stuff. I'm nervous to send it out to certain people because at the end of the day, you got weird people that like don't want you to start
We
talking
do.
and showing pictures about certain things because they're, and I
Who
don't want
cares
to
about those
offend
people?
people.
Those
Yeah.
people are in limited consciousness. But you're
No, I
busting the
mean people
matrix
that
in more
threaten
ways
you
than
and
one.
stuff like that. I'm talking about people that threaten
Yeah.
you that don't want to release things and stuff like that. And
Oh,
you know what I
don't
mean?
let that happen. Block those people.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
need them in your life. Block them. I kick them out into the universe. I don't care.
yeah.
Wait, are
Yeah.
people are threatening you? Is
I
that?
mean, like government officials and stuff like that. No, they're not. But I'm saying, if
Uh,
I start exposing some of these pictures that I got, I want to show. I don't want to, how it can be.
Don't even worry
So,
about that.
yeah,
right.
We
you
Let
So
me tell you something.
that's what I'm saying. If you message me, I'll send them to you and show it to you.
Yeah, just send them to
It's
us.
really
But
cool.
don't even
Yeah.
worry about that. Austin,
Yeah.
you're going to find out. We have a really dear friend of ours who works in the Department of Defense who's a whistleblower. Yeah,
Nice,
we
nice,
have a whistleblower.
nice,
We can
nice.
tell you things. And I, being a contactee when I was in the 60s, I had my first contact with space people wearing light blue outfits. I went upstairs and it was in a cul-de-sac. I went past my brother's room. To make the long story short, for some reason, I had to go up. I had no reason to go up. My brother and my parents were downstairs. I go up and open the wind blinds, and it's a flying saucer with windows, with men, women, and children, with a blinking light, like a yellowish blinking energy, whatever. And I looked at it, I got excited. I went downstairs. I said, what's this going on? They said they'd be upstairs. No one came up. Went back into the room, my brother's room, opened it up. The ship was still there. And they said, we're here to tell you you're not from Earth and we are your galactic family. And they were human, just like us. Very beautiful telepathic energy. I never forgot that story since the 60s.
What
I
did you
always
feel?
remembered where I come from.
Yeah,
Say
what was your
again?
feelings? What were your feelings when? What did you
Oh,
feel
pure
in
love.
energy? Yeah, yeah,
Pure
yeah.
love. Nothing
Isn't
but
it?
pure love.
So
There
you
was
know what I was
nothing but pure
talking
love.
about when you get that loving, like it's not a love that you get when, like, if I love you or you love your wife. I don't. It's. I can't
Right.
even explain it. It's just.
No, you
It's.
can't.
You gotta
It's a
experience, I
pure
guess.
love.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
It's a love that Earth people don't understand. People that have never had the experience, they don't understand what real love is. They have this perception of love on Earth, but they don't know when they have an encounter like I did, and like you're mentioning with the Plieadian woman. When you have that encounter when you're a child, preteen, and they're saying, "We love you. You're not from here. We're your cosmic family," and you don't forget. First, I thought it was a dream, but you don't forget. If you don't forget something like that since the '60s, and it's ingrained always in my head. Why?
Exactly.
Because it's
Always.
not a dream. It
Yep.
was a real feeling. It was really something that happened, just like what you're experiencing. So I get the strongest energy before you go. Ask the Plieadian woman. Tell her that she's not anything to fear, that she can come on the show. And if that happens, that'll be the first time we can actually introduce her to an Earth-based audience here.
I mean, I could
That's part of
try.
our
I mean, I
mission.
can't guarantee any of that, but I definitely can
You
try
don't
and
have to
see what I can
guarantee
do
it.
for sure.
You don't even have to try. You can just do it.
Yeah.
Don't even use the word try. You have the ability, vibrational wise, because that you're at that certain level. Truly have confidence in yourself. Everybody here knows you can do it. You're amongst
I
family
got a
here.
question for you. So you said you know Bashar. Do you know who Tyler Ellison is too?
yeah.
No, but Dalanka, I don't know about the other
Ryo,
one, but for sure.
Ryo. He's up there too. He's on Gaia too. You know Gaia, the Gaia program, right?
Oh yeah, the guy program, yes.
Yeah, yeah, he's on there. So I got two. I got probably maybe altogether 4 hours with him on there.
Oh, wow. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so I can give you links on that one too. So verifies all the stuff I've been doing. I could probably go on here all day and tell you about all these
I know
things that
you
have been
could.
happening
I know
with
you
me, but
could. And we've been on
it's
since like
fascinating. So
10:30 or whatever. So we thank you. And we're going to close the show down after you. Anyone who's been wanting to be a guest, wait till tomorrow night. Sunday night, we'll be live. We do the late night show at about 10:30, 11. So I want to thank you, Austin, for being here. We're following you. And you're always
Absolutely.
welcome here, man. Always,
Absolutely.
always.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Maybe I'll pop on tomorrow and tell you a couple extra ones that
Oh yeah,
I
well,
haven't
if
said
you got
anything
more
to her.
stories, we'll just be all ears here listening to you. Okay, folks, that's Austin. Thank you for being on
Oops.
here with us. And
Absolutely.
Bye, Austin.
and that was
So I
Austin.
really,
Wasn't that? How was that, Grace? For
that was like Kerpow. I
Kapow,
actually,
yeah,
so I got a couple of things while he was
yeah,
talking. First of all, I think that we have to be a little, it's fun to hear stories like that, right? It's really fun. And it also tells us what we're capable of doing, right? As far as communication and creating our own reality. But I think sometimes it's like, where are we as far as reality and fantasy? You know what I mean? So it's like always measuring those experiences. But I actually, this was a really interesting point. I resonate a lot with the Plieadian energy, and
yeah,
I feel that Plieadian energy is like the purest healing love that you could possibly find on the galactic,
yeah,
plane. So
yeah.
I feel like this is kind of problematic for Austin because I don't know if he'll ever be able to, he's going to have to work hard at a relationship on the earth at this point. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because
no, no, I got you.
it might
It's weird
interfere a
what,
little bit,
but
with
and there's a love that there's between these two beings, the Palladian woman and him, which when you know me, when I get that strong energy coming from an interview, I can tell things just like you can tell certain things. For me, it's like, okay, she's saying she loves him, and that's what I was getting. I don't know who she is. All you have to do is get to know that they're supposed to be together. That's why he doesn't have an Earth-based relationship,
it.
which is interesting.
It really is. It's like it's just like he got. Oh, Robert said like he got spoiled.
Right.
I mean, like the it's raising up that bar, pretty high.
Yeah.
But listen, I think I don't think there's anything wrong with that, raising the bar at all. I think that's
Yeah.
what we need to do as human beings. We need to like, raise our standards, raise our consciousness, raise our heart and our minds,
Hmm.
and bring them together so that we are, resonating in a place where we're not all in our head and we're not all in our heart, and kind of
Right.
like balance it out.
Yeah.
And I just find it fascinating that he's meditating and receiving all this. He's got a really active meditation practice.
Oh my God, he's so active. And then how he came, Grace, from the negative experience with the Draconians or Reptilians, and then all of a sudden he
Yeah,
elevated to such a leap into a different reality. They
yeah,
can't even
yeah,
touch him anymore.
yeah.
He's not even in that same reality.
Yeah, and he could see he's high and that he's really, really keyed into the joy
Yeah.
of it. And so I'd like to
Yeah.
see him not rely so much on Bashar, but his self,
Right. You're right about that.
and what he's saying, because listen, nothing against, channelers that are out there, but I feel like people always look to others for their answers. And we need to stop doing that. We need to start looking into our own capabilities and and that's right, Stephen Christopher just said balance indeed.
Now,
Absolutely
and you know what?
true.
He actually doesn't need to. It actually catapult him into the Bashar, the Daryl Anka connection helped him leap from where he was to where he is. He really doesn't need to listen to Bashar, although Bashar, with Daryl Anka, he doesn't really channel.
Yeah,
Daryl Anka more is a integrated communicator versus everybody else there channeling.
yeah,
That's why I think Bashar, his information is somewhat accurate because it's not a channel of communications, whereas everything else is out there. I don't believe in channeling, but I
yeah.
think what his thing is, he doesn't need to depend on a Bashar or
No,
whatever. he is already awakened on a vibrational frequency. If he just has confidence in himself, he can do what he needs to do. And of course, all he has to do is just focus on it and say, okay, I'm going to do this, and he'll do it.
Yeah,
He
I
doesn't
so
ask for
agree with that.
permission
I
to
mean,
do it.
know that like what Bashar is doing, we all can do. And I mean, there's
Right.
another really great guy out there. I love Abraham Hicks. I used to hang out with
Abraham,
Hicks.
yeah.
I've been to many Esther Hicks events over the years, and what happened was I kind of like graduated from there. You start to like you meet someone that you can identify with and you relate with, and then all of a sudden like you expose yourself to that, and then you completely oversaturate yourself from that experience, and you move forward and you grow, and that's how we grow. We learn and grow from one another. I know that what Bashar is doing is almost like non-sustainable and difficult. So that's something I will say, and something I've learned. But yeah, those are. I mean, imagine us all being able to have that kind of enthusiastic meditation. And and I believe it's possible we can travel and have experiences that are multidimensional, and that are beyond the imagination, beyond what we can imagine for ourselves. And this is what I think people are realizing. They're stepping out of the ordinary into the more exciting understanding of existence, and that everything happens all at once. It's all happening at the same time. And like tonight I was with a group of women, and one of the women said, I'm afraid of that. That makes me scared. And I said, well,
She's scared.
She's not ready for that yet. She was afraid to drive home in the dark, so it's definitely a process of building.
Yes.
And when she said to me,
and you don't want people to, your friend, you don't want to be afraid. So you're doing, if they get afraid, then, obviously you're a friend of hers. So you're going to try to help her. It's like taking a child and saying, okay, let me read you a story here to help you better. So she's all afraid now and all freaked out. But, and one can say, oh, you don't have to freak out. But if she's freaked out, she needs not to be told you don't have to freak out, because that doesn't make it better. So yeah, continue what you were saying about her.
Exactly. And I let her go on, and I didn't say anything to her, interfere with when she expressed that she was afraid, I just kept going. I did not say, oh, you shouldn't be afraid, because that is something that we all have to process on our own. She may not be there yet. And these concepts, we talk about these concepts because we're 2 CE5 people in the group, and we're already, communicating with interdimensional beings and having contact, and we're frightening someone who's not ready to hear that. So I just allow that to continue on, and I don't judge or question, her fear. I just say, I just continue to love her and, give her support. And she had to follow me out of the place we were at. She had to follow my car because she was afraid of the dark, which says a lot about where she's at spiritually, because it's important to know where you are spiritually. I mean, you may not be ready to do what Austin's doing, and that's okay too. If you're not ready, then you stand where you exist at this very moment,
And not everybody is at that level as Austin is, like you're saying. It's like one of the things that my commander Ashtar Athena told me years ago when I met her finally, who wrote for Sedona Journal for many years and did a show on BBS radio out in California. She said to me, we talked about waves of ascension, waves of awakening. So there's the earlier waves are already awakened. There are always new waves of humans that are starting to wake up a little bit, and some of them can be afraid of what they're going to see. Because let's face it, now the planet's going to such a high vibrational frequency, and now that contact is starting to develop and develop or something that, people are going to be at a human level. Some people are going to be freaked out. And you can say, well, you don't have to be freaked out by seeing what's coming here to Earth, but we'll help you along the way. And that's what we need to do. Those here who are fully awakened, fully conscious, you're going to run into people that have no idea what's happening when those spaceships start appearing, coming into our atmosphere in a massive way. There are going to be
Mhm.
people freaking out. So each one of you on this show, believe it or not, you're going to have to help those people. There's no way around
Yeah.
it. We're all going to have to do that,
Yeah,
you know?
that's so true. It's so key at this point. I mean, if you can just like wipe your eyes and take a look at what the reality of who we're dealing with every day and the conscious level
Mm,
that they're on, gives you an indicator of the work that, why you're planted there. You're
yeah,
planted there for a reason. If you can like kind of wipe that veil off your, coating a veil off your eyes, it's just another way of saying like, look more clearly at what you're dealing with. And if you could see through the fact that you're dealing with people who are, everybody's on a different level of understanding and
right,
conception and the way that they're conscious, what they can handle. In other words, it's like
mm,
not everyone can handle an encounter with with a physical extraterrestrial.
right.
I mean that
I mean, for example, you're saying is very true. Like, for example, I'm sitting here now. I know I haven't done this at all, but I know there's a part of me that I know if I did this, a part of me on the human level would kind of maybe might a little bit kind of freak out because now I'm creating that reality. If people understand what I mean. So let me get into that for a few minutes. We'll stay on for a couple more minutes. So I know that if I mentally stated that I invite a Christed being of light from the ships here, where I'm physically located right now, I know it would manifest, I'm not doing it, but I know if I'm going to do it, I might try doing it during the daylight, because it's dark out. So as much as I am completely awakened at every level of my cellular consciousness, I, as a human being, know that if I do that, it will manifest. I already know that.
Mhm.
I just have not done it yet. Would I do it? I'm pretty sure I'm almost at that point ready to have I'm ready to have the contact, but it's
Yeah.
one thing to see someone landing in a ship in the field and I see them, I pull my car over and they make contact with me. It's one thing to sit in your room and your living room and saying here, I'm going to do this because I know if I do this right now, something's going to happen. So I'm not doing it because my
We
wife's
can will
sleeping.
it.
I'm in the living room. I'm not ready to do it yet, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have to feel comfortable about it, you know?
Absolutely. And I mean, the reality is if someone says, I want to be taken and I want to leave the planet, and realistically, if that ever comes to pass, we are our creators, so we can, and what Esther Hicks, is really known for is that we create our reality.
Mm,
So when you focus on something, you get more of it. So if you
yeah,
focus on blue glass, you get blue glass show up in your
yeah,
field, no matter where you look. So if you are
yeah,
looking at contact, you're going to get contact however the universe can provide it to you in a way you're ready. So
yeah.
but physically, this is what people, I think, what's happening. I mean, by this point in time, we should probably all be zombies. We should have zombie apocalypse, and we should already have contact. So,
Well, I have to say, I was once a zombie, but I took the cosmic spiritual pill and I became awakened.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
right.
joking, folks.
I'm telling you. So yeah. So anyway, that was really unexpected and super fun. And
Yeah, it
it was
was.
so fun to come on though, and to like it's scary actually to see myself on camera. It's like, wait a
You
second.
know what? But I didn't know something about you, Grace. You are truly a multidimensional being. You have galactic eyes above your hat, and you have galactic eyes below your hat. So you can see multiple dimensional realities. There's different realities in each lens.
These are my
That's
time
amazing.
travel goggles. I wear
There you
these,
go. You
I
see?
actually do. Thank you. Thanks, Stephen. That's so nice. Thank you so much. Um, tell you honestly, was unexpected. I didn't imagine that this
See?
would happen tonight. So,
We made it happen, though, didn't we? We really pushed for you, didn't we?
yeah,
That's what I do,
no,
folks.
really
Believe it or not,
appreciate it.
I,
I
I
really,
don't just do it
really
for
appreciate
anybody.
it.
I do. No, I actually will do it for everybody. So if you're like 700 people that are following you, I will do the best I can to get everyone watching this show to follow you. That's exactly what I do.
Yeah,
You won't see any other TikTok hosts. I do it because I'm unconditional. I believe everybody needs to be here.
that's such a,
Everybody
it's a
needs to be on the screen.
milestone. It's a real milestone for me. And listen, TikTok has done so much for us as a, you know, as a cause, right? So,
Yeah.
your mission, I always talk about the mission, and I feel like I would have never expected last year for myself to be doing this. But then again, I was doing it anyway. I tend to be a spiritual, helper in a sense. But
Yeah, you are.
when I got involved with the CE5 thing, it elevated me. It
Yeah.
made me understand, like, it woke up like these memories cells in my brain.
Yeah.
I Oh, Grace became visible, and we reached over 50K.
Yeah, we
That's
have.
so cool.
Thank you, everybody. 51,600 likes. That's crazy.
So,
Now, if we get another 51,000 followers, I'll be up to over 100,000 followers. I'm almost at 1 million likes. So I still haven't figured out whether having 1 million
wow.
likes is any different than having followers. I think it doesn't make a difference. I think if you have 1 million likes, you
Wow.
have pretty much 1 million followers, although they're not following you. I
You know,
guess that's my perception of reality, but who knows?
yeah, and I come to this understanding too, Commander, that everyone on this planet is a star seed. We have had multiple
Right.
existences, and we have had, and this is probably what a lot of what Austin is experiencing too, is maybe another lifetime with another existence, and
Yeah.
at the same time as we're experiencing our lifetime here, which could
Yeah.
which could actually become complicated if you're in a relationship here and you have another level
Well,
of
the good news
relationship
is,
going.
Grace, that Austin's separated from another relationship here, which frees him up to go with the Plaiadian woman and go on a ship and go on a vacation somewhere in the universe. So he's got, and you know what? It won't cost him a dime to take a vacation with the Plaiadian woman on a spaceship because they can just leave the planet, forget this Earth-based money thing. And who wants to just go around the planet to the same beach all the time or go to Disney World when you can go in the universe and go to another planet and just enjoy life and meet new people from other worlds.
Oh my God,
He's got a great thing going here.
it's
Like I said, I
it's
do believe he's going to have
dangerous.
her.
If you're in a
I believe he's going
relationship
to
though, and
actually,
you're cosmic, if you're like, telepathically having like these visions of
right.
cheating, like
I'm telling you,
spiritually
he's
cheating.
Austin might not realize it yet, but he's going to be going on a vacation with her, the Plaiadian woman. And I do believe if he asks her with total commitment, she will come on his live with me here, and she'll show herself on the screen.
And
I totally believe that.
it definitely, no doubt people in the room, everyone in the room, the 121 people that are watching, first of all, thank you so much for the support.
Really,
Really
we
just
appreciate it.
appreciate it so much. And like the love, the sign of love, right? If you want to bend metal, you could use this sign. Just put the love vibration out there. It heals everything. It bends iron. You know,
And I got a crystal here. Speaking of which, because you've been all
that's
so
beautiful.
great, I got another crystal here. Now, this is the crystal that has all the things in it, and
Is
but
that
it's here. You can feel the
amethyst?
energy right here. You can see it right here from this distance. It looks like well, it kind of looks like a spaceship now, but if you look at it, you can see things in it.
Now, is that an amethyst?
No, this
Really?
is a smoky quartz of some sort.
That's it. Initially, I thought it was smoky. I wasn't sure though. I've got something cool for the Lemurians. I've got this,
Oh,
which
that's nice.
isn't that beautiful for the Lemurians? Because I have like a connection to the sea. So this is made out
Hmm.
of like quartz, like rose quartz. I think this is beautiful. But
Yeah, no, I like that.
isn't that cool? I love shapes. I love shapes.
You
Yes.
see the land masses here? You see the land masses here? Actually, if I took it off this, I'll
Yeah.
go a little bit closer here.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I thought I saw Chris in the room earlier.
Yeah,
All the things. That's true. That's true. And I'm seeing it more, and I'm just reading the comments. It can't find
yeah,
Austin. Can't find Austin on Facebook. I don't know. Look on TikTok, Danny.
yeah. No, find Austin on TikTok first. You go to his TikTok, and then we can, be able to connect with him. Well, it's about 1:35, folks, so about a half hour before 2 on the East Coast. We want to kind of say thank you. Before I do that, we'd like to get some support here. And we have 36 of 100 subscribers. Become 37, 38, 39. We want to get 100 subscribers regularly on here. That'll help raise for our C5 group, which Grace is a part of and Chesno is a part of. We're trying to raise funds for another third generation night vision equipment for our group, which we have about 15 or 20 people. Please become or consider becoming, when you have the money, a subscriber. We have 36 right now. We're trying to get to 100. On the TikTok part of it, if you have the fake TikTok money that you translate from real money into TikTok coins, please do some final gifting before we leave. I want to thank everybody who supports our show, supports the work we're doing, our mission work here on TikTok, to reach out to the whole planet with the show. And we want to thank you all who share your stories. We never know who's going to be on here, which makes it beautiful. So if I can have some last minute gifts, if anybody has anything like that whale or the whale that goes shooting in the water, splashing, I don't remember how many coins you need for that. If you're going to do galaxies, that's like 1,000 TikTok coins. So, anything is possible. Everything's possible. Isaiah, thank you for the roses, all those roses. We appreciate it. Any more people that have the ability to gift, please do. If you're totally broke, don't worry about it. We want you to be here. But for those that have the abundance, please send us a gift right now. And also go to my Venmo on CmdrAleon 2022. Press the link to my Venmo Cash App. You can make a direct deposit in the Venmo right now tonight while you're watching me. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you, Kelly, for the hand heart. We certainly appreciate that so much. Any other people that want to send a gift, do it right now. Thank you, Isaiah. You're all awesome people. We love everybody. We love our audience. And we also are very thankful that Grace is here. And I am so excited that we were able to get her to over 1,000 followers to go live. And if you want me to help you get up there, just let me know. If you're close to like halfway there, or you have 600 or 700 followers, we will get you above 1,000 on encounters. Okay, we'll definitely do that. Thank you,
Night,
everybody. Grace,
everyone.
good to see you.
I'm
Have
going
a
to
good
sign
night. We're gonna
off.
let Grace go. And this is CmdrAleon. I'll be on tomorrow morning. Watch my show on Encounters, not Encounters. Watch the Cosmic Eye Astro Command radio show if you have the ability. I'm on WESUFM.org, 11:30 Eastern in the United States till 1. That's the Astro Command Cosmic Eye radio show. We love you all. Take care. Be well.